I hit the loose juice as I turn in the deuce. I hit the loose juice as I turn in the deuce. Golly, it's so much stuff. So much. Let's see if we can get some of this stuff out the way. All right, what we got?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Off my dome, this is actually taught by the people who are ancestors of the Mayans in...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
You're a philosopher? Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deep. I think very deep.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist. Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
Yo, baby, I got all the dope moves. That's what me and this nigga do. We pick something and then we ran about it.
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd.
It all breaks down to, what does this mean to me? What does this event mean to me? How?
Maybe I'm a walking dead man is what they call me when I hit the loot juice and pull.
I'm legendary in this motherfucker.
Aye, nigga.
I'm legendary in this motherfucker. 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 I just be shopping and shit. You know, drinking and shit. Do a little smoking and shit. I just be shopping and shit. You know, drinking and shit. Do a little smoking and shit.
And the fans, they're there for entertainment.
I stopped playing games and I mastered the art. To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the middle. To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the center. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins. And I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, I guess that's my cue. I guess that is my cue to show. Tonight, we are on the alcoholic thing again. We are definitely having Great Lakes Elliott Nest, the best ambrosia they make. It is called a amber lager, pretty much a red ale though. So again, for y'all to know, what do we say? Pop 'em if you got 'em. And yes, I am torturing you all by having the sacred barrel Killian's Red Glass. Oh, look at that. Don't you wish you had it? Can pour this beautiful Great Lakes Ambrosia Amber Red Lager. And as you look at me right now, and you take a best self and look at yourself, you wonder why you ain't me right now. You wish you could be me right now holding this amber ale. You really wish you could be me right now holding this amber ale. And tonight, as in most nights, we are doing the unicorn, not uniform. Unicorn Luca. So let that warm up. Let that warm up. Take me into the next phase, baby. Take me. Take my soul to the next phase. Oh, who is in the house tonight? How you gonna party with me tonight?
Got to have vision.
Dr. Sinister, you got to have vision. Never take the jab.
Got to have vision.
You've got to have vision. El Dragon, Amaru.
Got to have vision.
Vision to watch me, baby. Ah. So as it's percolating, we're getting ready. And I'm getting ready on what I might say, I guess. Oops. Single lights means it is ready. And this is still crackle. Okay. We have to ring the bell on that one. That rings the bell. Let's see where the energy is. What kind of energy we working with tonight? Show me. Show me how to be free. What are we working with tonight, baby? Where's it at? Oh, yeah. Well, where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, okay. Okay. I get it. That's right. Show it to me. As MJ Givens would say, look at what's reversed. Look at the other side of the plan. Thank you, my friend. Oh, OTF is in the house.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
OTF, AJ, I know you can control yo.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I know you can control yours. So thank you for coming in. I guess let me give it out. Let me give it out for my main man, Edward, come in. I'm going to give you that transformational energy of the Jaguar. Because again, we are both. We are nature, and nature is us. So as us being nature, here we are, baby. That's why I give you this jaguar energy. It's part of consciousness, baby. Eat it up, because I give it freely. Also, we want to give the skull energy out. I guess I don't do that on most days. Give the skull energy out. Because the skulls is what's different. What's different with skull crystals compared to the rest of the crystals is all the skull crystals are connected. And if you study skulls and they don't tell you that, they lying. They holding back the information. All the skull energy, and that's the beautiful thing about this. This is like a network of energy. As I said, in my house, I have the skull library. And so there's a library. There's a couple books that tell you there's one central skull. Well, there's 12 or 13 of them. But they're all connected. So this can get very deep. The study of skulls can get very deep. And skulls is like really for the beginner, one way of looking at getting into skulls is it's almost like putting on a hat. That's the easiest way I can tell you. It is literally like, or putting on a helmet. It's like you put on the skull helmet. For beginners, that's the easiest way to connect with the energy. Because just sit here and hold it and be like, it might not work. But if you visualize it like putting on a helmet, you put on the helmet is the skull, and then you project out of the eyes. And that is an easier way to connect this. Now, I think this is called a Chinese letters skull. It's the closest name I can find for this one. But that's what the skull energy is all about. Tearing shit up. Oh, D Still.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
I know you can control yours, D Still. Let me bust out YouTube TV. Let me bust out YouTube TV, you bogus YouTube TV. Now I got this YouTube TV and y'all fell off. 3 minutes left in the game, y'all started getting interrupted. I switched to my phone, it's still interrupted. I had to get on my phone to watch the rest of the game through something else. But YouTube TV, you failed. Now I don't know if I'm the only TV that failed, but it failed. It was searching. No other channel was searching but TNT. So I don't know if somebody attacked the station. I can't say, but y'all failed tonight, YouTube TV. My man, James Lucifer Wooten Branch, also known as Red Wolf.
Got to have vision.
And I know you got vision, baby. And you be putting in that work. I guess, and Brother Red Wolf, definitely want to send you this energy too. The transformational energy of the Jaguar. I know you know about the Omen. It was interesting. You was, reading some of the, were you reading from the Lost Book of Iniki? I don't know if you've ever, I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know if you've ever, got into any Wes Paneri's work. I'm friends with Wes Paneri on Facebook. He don't never hardly put anything out, but the work he puts out there is free. And he gets into a lot of the Anunnaki stuff. And as I've said this many times before, I have no problem with Dr. Valentine using some of Wes Paneri work because I feel that Wes Paneri did use some of Dr. Valentine's work. Now, for those of you, and I got to find this, the original first time you see Dr. Valentine on being recorded, they're in a high school gymnasium, and he really puts out how do I want to say this? He puts out the different type of crystallized consciousness, crystallized beings, and he reflected how each person, was, and maybe you can even say each person had, for a better word, the aura colors. So each kind of vibration was their own color.
So each bean, you know, all the beans wasn't just alike. The way he describes it is like there's blue beans and there's green beans, red beans, and we each feed off the sun. Now, Wes Paneri changed it up slightly, but it's the same concept. Because Wes Paneri says when the Anunnaki came, he says when Enil or Eniki was like setting up snares and stuff to try to catch the animals for some food, that you know everything would be disappeared. Gotta take this. All right. So every night he was putting the traps out and shit, and you know, animals was disappearing. And so one night he slow motioned the trap, and he saw that there was a haze bean that had a color to it, and they was releasing the animals every night. So when they get into what they call the blackheads, what they did, and I've said this before, this goes into even the Atlantean myths, is the Atlantean did the same thing, is trying to take this. So I guess to get back to my point about the way Wes Paneri puts it, is there were different type of haze beans that had all these different colors. So there was yellow haze beans, blue haze beans, and they was all around the world, but they stuck kind of together. Where you found one color, they was all the same color stuck together. And so, you know, this is the same thing. This is the same concept, if you understand. But it goes back into, you know, Iniki being able to capture this haze bean, capture this blue bean, and then put them into another kind of body. And that's part of Stinch's work, but it's part of Wes Paneri's work. Wes Paneri gives more of an updated version of Stinch's work. Was Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson fights fixed, or are they really legit legends? Roscoe, thank you for joining me. Valentine is particularly crucial in understanding in its conceptual form, right? Ali's fights with Sonny Liston was both fixed. But I'm gonna tell you this, and this is what you got to understand about what fixed is. What do I always say about wrestling? You gotta be able to take the falls, right? So this is how the fix starts. Sonny Liston beats Big Cat Williams by putting that ointment on him. Now, Big Cat Williams, they got shot in the stomach. So this was before he got shot in the stomach. So he was on Sonny's ass. Sonny's shit is all puffed up. So Sonny used that, and it blinded Big Cat Williams, and Sonny was able to knock him out. So again, it's a way to fix a fight. This is where you got to be able to take the falls. And this is two parallels where you'll see parallels. Sonny and Ali was allowed to fight. They was allowed to fight. So you can obviously see the first 3 rounds, Ali is in his ass. They allowed to fight. And Ali is peppering him. He damn near knocks him out in the second round. The second round, he hits him, because see, if you study what Ali did in the first round, Sonny had a bad habit of trying to duck all the time. And Ali was just timing that shit. Because Ali would throw a jab and Sonny would duck down. Ali would catch him coming back up. Sonny had a bad habit. He had that shit time. Watch him. Because he ducks down and Ali hits him with a right when he ducks down, damn near knocks him out in the first or second round. So he was hit. He started getting hit. If you understand. Sonny didn't think he was going to get hit. Woo. Sonny did not think he was going to get hit. And Sonny got hit. Now, So Sonny was told to quit, no doubt. But Sonny was getting his ass whooped. So let's make no doubt about that. Matter of fact, he quit because he was about to get knocked out. And they didn't want Ali to knock Sonny out because Ali had the potential to knock Sonny out. He had the perfect, really, I even think Floyd Liston, Floyd Patterson, Sonny Liston, I even think that fight was fixed because Floyd really had the skills to counter what Sonny had. Watch old Floyd fights. Floyd was the best ducker ever. I mean, sometimes Floyd would go to the ground and duck a shot. So just to say that he was pulverized by Sonny made no sense if you study Floyd. Study Floyd up until the Sonny fight. Even when he fights Johansson, study them fights. So, but now, this is what happened in 2. Actually, Ali or Clay Liston 2 had opportunity to be a great fight. But what happened and stopped it from being a great fight was Ali had what do you call it? You know, when your stomach get a little lump and shit, a hernia. Ali had to have hernia surgery 2 weeks before the second fight was about to come on. And from all indications, Sonny Liston was some of the best shape of his life. And it put it back another month, maybe another 6 weeks. And Sonny was tired, you know, he was so fed up with everybody that he just fell. You know, he really just fell for Ali, you know, the second fight. And as I said before, the Mafia killed Sonny, there's no doubt. Now, Mike Tyson, I should look up these 2 fights. Let me look this up and just show you how fake Mike Tyson's fights was. Because Mike Tyson's fight, as I said before, Mike Tyson's 2 fights where the dude falls off the ropes, the dude practices the move a couple shots before. And then when they turn again, he bounces off the ropes after a shot. So Mike Tyson's fights, let me get this out. Let me see if I can find that one. To show you an example. Early Mike. Yeah, here we go. Right here. It knew what I wanted. Let's see if we can get the one where he bounces off the rope. Let's see. Wonder if this is just let me look at this, because the one where he bounces off the ropes is fixed. Definitely fixed. Another fighter should have gave him a tough time too was Bone Crusher. But Bone Crusher was told not to fight. Bone Crusher hits Mike Tyson in the 11th round, and Mike said it felt like his head went into his neck. It was the first time he had really been hit hard, and it showed me. When he fought Bone Crusher, it was the 10th or 11th round. Bone Crusher got him, stuck him, and Mike stopped for one of the first times in his early career. And that just showed me Bone Crusher could have probably put that together. And if you remember, Bone Crusher just held him the whole fight. But Bone Crusher crushes him. I mean, he catches him with a beautiful right, and it stopped him. So it told me right then, a dude that can punch, and a dude that can move was going to give him trouble. That's why I didn't think Spinks would give him trouble. You telling me Tyson at 5'10", hit harder than Larry Holmes? And you could go two fights with Larry Holmes and not get hurt by him, but you get hurt by this dude and you don't try to move at all. I mean, that fight was so fixed. But just like I was saying, when I said Sonny Liston had to fight Ali, because that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes they have to fight. And that's what Sonny found in that first fight. Sonny found out he had to fight, and Ali tagging his ass, damn near knocked him out early in the fight. Now, same thing happened Buster Douglas, Tyson. The exact same thing. You see in the third round where Tyson sees he has to fight. And what did Buster have? A dude that could take Tyson's punch because he got up. Long count or not, he still got up. But he took most of Tyson's punches and he could punch. But again, Mike showing it as fixed. Mike didn't have a corner person. So how more fixed can it be than that? But my point is, you got to be able to take the falls. And in the third round, Mike saw he was going to have to fight. Now, another fight is where dudes fought. They let Ali and Frazier try to kill themselves in the first round, first fight. That was probably, if you want to see a real fight, that's the closest you're going to get. Ali Frazier 1 is probably closest you're going to get of a real fight. Now, it appears like the knockout and the knockdown in the 15th round could have very easily been staged. As I said before, if you look at the statue of Joe Frazier knocking Ali down in the 5th round, and you look at the pose of Buster Douglas knocking out Tyson, it's the same pose. So, you know, it's not unique. It makes you look at that. Ali goes to throw and he gets beat. You know, Frazier double hooks him, hooks to the body, and then follows up a combination. So I'm still trying to see if they're going to show this off the rope. I'm still kind of watching this because this is a copulation of his fight. And I'm trying to find the rope dude. Because the rope dude is the easiest for me to show you the fight is fixed, is the rope dude. The dude who bounces off the ropes. Is this it? That's to me the easiest way I can show you how Tyson's fight was fixed. Another one, when Tyson broke Jesse Ferguson's nose, that was real. Why I should pull that one up. When Tyson breaks Jesse Ferguson's nose, that was real. That was real. So it's like, but is this it? No, that ain't him either. This looks like the same. No, these ain't none of it. Tyson in order. Mike Tyson, no. No, these ain't none of it. No, that's not it. Mike Tyson. I'm gonna have to do some research and find the Tyson where the dude in the ropes. Let me see. Not first professional fight. But whenever you see, there's 2 fights where you can look at Tyson, and it's the ones where the guys are falling off the ropes. One dude, again, if you watch the whole fight, before he gets knocked out, he does a step back to practice the step back. And so what you see is before he gets knocked out, he takes an extra step back, practicing the move. So that wasn't the one. So they go in a circle. Tyson hits him. He takes the step back move and flies into the ropes and flies off. So I was looking for that one and I don't see it. So I'm going to have to find that. Yeah. So yes. Trying to think. You know, I was reading some stuff earlier about Ali. And Ali beats, this is amazing if you kind of think about it. Ali beats Ron Lyle. Ali beats Ron Lyle a month later. 4 weeks later, he fights the big white guy. Oh gosh, the big white guy. I can't think of the British white dude. Not Henry Cooper, but the other British dude. 4 weeks later, he fights British. So he beats Ron Lyle, knocks him out in the 11th or 12th round. He fights Joe Bugner. Thank you, Motivite. Joe Bugner. Then he fights Joe Bugner 4 weeks later. And then 6 months later, he fights Joe Frazier. I mean, people don't realize because they banned Ali, Ali fought a lot. Ali fought a lot when he became champion. People don't realize this. Just think of like Michael Jordan only having one fight every other month or so. One game. That's how popular. People forget the TV Ali fighting these championship fights every other weekend. I mean, it was literally every few months Ali was on TV, free TV. That's what made Ali popular, and people forget that. I mean, I literally would go over to my girlfriend's house, her whole family and her dad. Her dad, he had nothing but girls. He had 6 daughters. And, you know, I'm up in there with the 6 daughters. We watching Ali. Because his dad, he made everybody watch out. Her dad, and this is a European family, but their dad loved Ali. So when I'm over there, I'm a dude, and I'm like, hey, Ali on? He's like, yeah, take this chair next, you know. So you know, it's all fixed, it's all controlled. As my dad said when I was younger, he said it pretty simple. They're not gonna let niggas decide who wins all this money. So I'm sorry, I know I'm behind in the comments. Let me I know I'm missing let me see who's come in. Yeah, oh, I didn't make, oh my goodness, I don't think I finished. I definitely made I must didn't finish my video. Yeah, see over. I made a video about that. I must didn't post it. I sure didn't post it. I made a video on it. I don't think I posted it. Let me see. Yeah, see over. I made a video on that because they don't show it good. Let me see. I don't think I posted it. Let me see if I posted it. No, I didn't. Ooh. This makes no sense. Okay, we'll try this again. Wow, that is really odd. Okay. Man, I've never had that happen before. Let's see. Shit, what is this? Oh, yeah, this is it. Okay, what is this? Oh, they stopped me. Damn. They wouldn't let it post. Wow. They would not let it post. Wow. Yeah, I sure did. I made a video about that and they didn't. I'm just checking it now. Well, so we'll see. Yeah, but yeah, anytime we see that, and man, it is Siova, the technician. How is your
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And Siova, I know you can control yours. So what's happening? What's happening? Yeah, so I did see it. Yeah, so yeah, Red Wolf, yeah, it was some good stuff, man. You know, I'm sorry, I go off on everything. A crucial understanding. Yeah, Valentine has some good stuff. The Hands in the Caves. Okay. More recent. Yeah. I trained at Deer Lake and Pennsylvania. Yeah, you said that. Yeah, Ali had a camp at Deer Lake in Pennsylvania, and Jim Red Wolf said he trained up there. And it's funny, because after he quit fighting, I've said this many times, after he quit fighting, they lived in what's called Buffalo, Michigan, which is right on the border. It's a casino there, but it's right on the border. Matter of fact, Ali bought the Nation of Islam a bunch of land in that area. I don't know what they did with it, but he bought one of Al Capone's own compounds, actually, and it was in Buffalo, Michigan. So used to see him, you know, got to shake his hand a few times. And I'll say this, I've met a lot of people, and Ali had the darkest eyes of any man I ever met in my life. I mean, yeah. He had the dark. Now again, this is man been punched in the face a lot of times, but he had the darkest eyes of anybody I'd ever met. So it made me, you know, it's a different kind of entity there. But I'll say this: his wife was irritated, but he sat and shook hands, took pictures until everybody stopped because his son was playing AAU game. Yeah. Hey, my man, Sean, and I know you are controlling your
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
Oh, yeah, brother Sean. Thank you from down under. Thank you for probably you late night or midnight, mid evening, I think, for you. There he is, Mac Bone. Bishop Mac Bone, you know, here's the transformational energy. Giving it out. James 224, thank you for
Got to
joining.
have vision.
Those who pray by the higher dimensional laws do not have lower dimensional problems.
Got to have vision.
Yes, I can feel the art of hitting without getting hit. Coach Norman Baker, my boxing coach. Kings of Fitness, Little Rock. Nicole, thank you
Got
for
to
joining.
have vision.
Chief's Guy, thank you for joining.
Got to have vision.
The Lakers don't necessarily have to win tomorrow, but I would say probably yes. This is what's interesting. Do you know how much they highlighted how good a game Anthony Davis had despite they lost? Did you guys take note of that? They highlighted how good a game, because they put it right in there, you know, saying him and Joker, they put them side and side comparison. And I think that right there, the Lakers is definitely going to be in the finals, I think. I'm still pushing the Lakers to win it all. But I would not be surprised if they win. I won't be in panic mode if they don't, but I'm pretty sure they're going to win tomorrow. Just looking at the odds. So yeah, did you meet Ali? Yeah, I never thought I would get a chance to meet Ali. I met everybody that I wanted to meet in my life. Nope. I didn't meet Connie Hawkins. As I told the story before, I met his brother and his children and his wife. I didn't meet him because it was basketball season and I didn't take that into granted. You know, but yeah. So Ali, I never thought I would meet Ali. You know, I didn't. And yeah, got to meet him in Kalamazoo, actually. He had came to Kalamazoo, but again, he lived in Michigan. And his son went to Niles High School, or no, Niles Junior High, I think. His son Malik, I think is his son Malik. Him and Lonnie adopted his son. And that son's got to be, you know, adult by now. So yeah, that's when I met Ali. But yeah, was he possessed? I don't know. It's like almost like, like what they brought back couldn't talk at first. Remember that? Like, remember they didn't have him talk? Do y'all remember that? They didn't have him talk. Like for years, Ali wouldn't talk in public. That's why when I met him, he was talking to people. Now, he wasn't talking like I'm talking, but he was like, hey, how you doing? What, you know, he was being personal. It wasn't like, you know, he was being personal. Did he talk slower? Yes, but he was like, hey, hi to meet you. He's like, I was like, I don't want to, and I felt bad for my son because his cousins got autographs, and I just wanted my son to shake his hand. I just wanted to shake his hand. You know, I didn't need to possess nothing of, you know. But yeah, so, you know, my son was mad, and looking back, maybe we should have got his autograph, but I was happy to shake his hand. But yeah, but it was like, this a shell too? That was the other thing I look back years later. It's like, okay, the thing, they brought him out and they said he couldn't talk. But, you know, looking at what turned into an old man, they were afraid of Ali. I'm gonna get on this rant for a second. They were afraid of Ali. Remember the American pilot got shot down and they sent Ali over to Iraq? Remember? To meet with Hussein? They were scared of Ali. That's why they shot him with something that really messed him up. Now, he messed his own self up. And the people that banned him are responsible for this just as much. Because the people that banned him, again, he didn't fight for damn near 4 years. It's closer to 4 years if you look at the total to the time he boxed again. It's closer to 4 years. And he only fought one fight to fight the best person in the world. He had one fight, 2-3 months of being able to have money to work out. Because people forget, when you ain't got money, you can't work out. I mean, now in these days, yeah, you could get this stuff. But back in the 70s, again, he wasn't smart enough to own his own gym. You know? So when the man came down on him, you know, his funds wasn't there to work out every day. So I forget where I was going with it, but I was going somewhere good with it. So was he? It's hard to say. Jokic, the new white. Leonard.
Got to have vision.
Thank you for joining. Laker fans in trouble, not the team. NBA is a circus. They're not in trouble. Yeah, 6 p.m. That's what I thought. I thought it was early evening there. Yeah, Sean, thank you for joining. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was really prime boxing. Like to see Ali fight every couple months. I mean, it was a couple years like that after he beat Foreman. Like when he fought, it's still a record. The biggest heavyweight fight of all time is still Ali Spinks 2 in the Metro or in the Superdome. That's or Mercedes Dome, whatever you want to call it. That's the biggest fight. It was 100 and some thousand in there. To watch an old Ali fight a young Spinks. Stand toe to toe with him. That loss was on LeBron? I don't know. It was some other cats. It's some other cats that Saber Tiger, what's happening? Saber-tooth Tiger.
Got to have vision.
It was some other cats was to blame too. Again, what's 17's name? He always is tripping. He don't even play. 28, it's easier to remember the numbers than the names. Remember, they had him start. Now they bringing him off the bench. The 15, Reeves. Reeves wasn't really hooping. I mean, Reeves, okay, this is how they teased you. Remember, Reeves got him back within 3. And Devin Ham brought that up. Reeves' three-pointer got him down within 3, and they never got closer than that. So you see, the script was there for them to win, too. Wasn't hard for them. It wouldn't have been that hard for them to win. So they can stay with that team. They match up very well with that team. A lot better than what I thought they would. But it was a good game. I mean, shoot, watching Murray and Joker. Joker makes some good passes. Really, I'm going to tell you who Joker is, and y'all ain't even going to get it. Joker ain't even Sabonis' daddy. You know who Joker is? Joker's Bill Walton. Joker is Bill Walton. That's who Joker is. Joker is Bill Walton. Every kind of move, the passes, that's all Bill Walton. The jump hook. But watch Bill Walton, prime Bill Walton, because again, Bill Walton destroyed his feet in college. So we only got to see really a couple years of good Bill Walton. But that's who Joker really is. Remember, Bill Walton in the championship game only missed. Where did he go? When he scored 44 points, he only missed 2 shots. He went something like 20 out of 22, something like that. He had 44 points. He went 20 out of 22, something like that. Missed 2 shots the whole game. But I just was looking at his game yesterday, and I was like, this is Bill Walton again. This is totally Bill Walton. So that's what they did. They put him, the MK Ultra people put him in a little room, and they just showed him Bill Walton highlights. Bill Walton, jump hook. Bill Walton pass, get your man open. Bill Walton, MK Ultra. They had him all MK Ultra. Bill Walton highlights. They had him all Bill Walton highlights. Nah, he's closer to Bill Walton than Larry Bird. He's closer to Bill Walton. I say Bill Walton. Study Bill Walton. That's who the Joker is. About the same size, 6'11". That's who he is. Bill Walton that played in 76. Bill Walton that beat Dr. J and them. 77, actually. Bill Walton that beat Dr. J and them. I don't know if I can get this. Got the fan going. But that's who I was looking at that. I'm like, wow. I ain't got another version of Bill Walton. Cause shit, you can see some pictures of Bill Walton dunking on Jabbar. But the nastiest shit is Dr. J dunking on Bill Walton, Dr. J dunking on Bobby Gross. Look them up. Can you explain why I left the police force? Yeah, that's very easy. The first place I worked for, and I've said before, we were forced hires. You know what a forced hire is? The first place I worked for, we were forced hired by the what is it called? By the Affirmative Action Department at Western Michigan University. We were forced hired by them. Affirmative Action went to the police department and said, you do not have enough minorities. So how they tried to cover themselves is they started hiring Mexicans. They said, see, we hired a couple Mexicans. They said, no, you got to hire a couple black folks. So started working for that force. And I was going through a divorce all at the same time. So that force really wasn't, I mean, we were working on a college campus, so we were very restrictive to what we did. The summer times, there's nobody there, so there's no real work to do. It became a force of arresting drunks around the university's many bars. So bad that, you know, people were literally preying on the bars, following people out of bars, arresting, you know, drunk drivers like that. And in some instances, the people only had to drive a mile or so to their dorm or apartment. So it was a preying, and it just wasn't my type of work. So then I started working for a smaller force that was about, well, it was one of my hometowns, you know, my stepfather's, where I lived a couple years. But it was an hour and 25 minutes from my house. And when I first took the job, I thought I could live, because it was like you work 4 days and you off 4 days, or work 3 days, off 3 days. And at first I thought I could live down there because I could live with my aunt for 3 days. That was really what I was offered. My aunt gave me the keys. She said, just come stay. When you need to sleep, you know, whatever. Because my aunt was down there. And I never did that. I was driving back and forth every day, seeing my other children, seeing my second wife. And after a while, the drive just became too much. And I wasn't able to get on to any department around me. So what I had done before I was a cop was become security. And I started my own security business and started getting security contracts. And, you know, I was always hustling, so hustling never went away. So it was never a problem getting money, but that's really why. It was like I got to work for those departments and no other department would give me an opportunity because I applied at many. And, you know, I liked working for myself as well. Getting security contracts wasn't hard. Wasn't hard to establish a security company. I mean, I did that. That's really kind of what started my police background, was because I had done security for 4 or 5 years. And so I had learned how to start security companies. So that's what I did. So it wasn't that the affirmative action could legally force you to work. What affirmative action did is they forced them to hire us. Because what they tried to do is they tried to say that them hiring 2 Mexicans was enough. And so affirmative action went in there and said, no, that's not enough. And so it was a lot of, and I ain't one to cry, but it was like some racist ass white guys that ran the department. And it's funny, my experience, I as you know, I ref for 25 years, refed high school, little boy football, small college football, women's semi-pro, men's semi-pro football, semi-pro basketball, high school basketball, every level. But anyway, I forgot why I brought that up. And so I'm not on it tonight. I forget. But so I just, I was always hustling. Oh, PJ Allen, what's happening? So yeah, so it was just that didn't fit me. So, I was reffing, hustling. So I had a lot going on, and it was just easier to work for myself. And what was cool about reffing and what I did was unique is like a lot of people like would ref football and be done, ref basketball be done. And before I moved out of Michigan, and again I moved out of Michigan in 2006, I moved out of Battle Creek in 2004. Excuse me, so almost 20 years ago. But what was interesting in Michigan back then is they had girls basketball and volleyball switched. Volleyball was in the winter and girls basketball was in the fall. So in the fall, I was doing like one day I would do girls basketball, maybe little girls basketball. Then the next day I'm doing football. Weekends is always football. I mean, I made great money on the weekends. I mean, people forget little boy football. I was making like $300. It was like 40, 50 a game, if not more back then. I was making like $300, and then like I would make $300 in one place, and then I would drive to another place and make $200 and only do 2 games. So I'd do 5 or 6 games, make $300. I would drive to another game at another place at night and only do 2 games and make $200. I would drive to Detroit, make $120, $30 for just driving somewhere and doing the game. So, just hustling. So I turned, my dope hustling into just regular hustling. I was just saying, the reason why I made reffing all year is, okay, so football ends, basketball season begins, right? Basketball is in the winter. Well, back then, girls volleyball was in the winter too. So if I wasn't doing a basketball game somewhere, I was doing volleyball. And this went on, and again, volleyball, basketball, and in March, what starts in March? Traveling basketball. AAU, MYAI. I think is what it's called. But traveling basketball. So I did traveling basketball from March. Actually, if I wasn't doing a volleyball tournament, I was doing traveling. Because people don't realize, okay, this is something a lot of people you ain't got to be really old to relate to this, but kind of. So a lot of people that grew up in PAL leagues, PAL, police athletic leagues, and church leagues. A lot of people will remember that if you didn't make your high school team, you could always play PAL or you could always play church league, right? Any of y'all remember that? Anybody can remember that? If you didn't make your high school team or junior high team, you had other options. You could still play PAL or you could still play church league. I mean, that's how many opportunities used to be for everyone. So some people that develop differently, they played the church leagues or they played the PAL leagues and they end up getting better but they still got to play. So I don't know if people remember that. I don't know if people really remember that or not. But that's used to, more opportunities for everybody. Ooh. Man, if y'all ain't eating a ton of blueberries, ton of greens, like I ain't ate any meat today. No meat at all. And just everything's been salad, nuts, fruits. But I have drank a shitload of beer. Can't front. Don't need to front. So I was able to, really hustle sports. as a way to, make a living for my family. I mean, one church, we did all their basketball, and one year we made like damn near 3,000 just off this one church. They had volleyball and they had basketball, and like we would go in there and do. How do we do that? Yeah, we would go and check this out. We would go in there and do a volleyball JV game. One time, no. One time we did a no, that was a different time. Okay, so we would do a JV volleyball game. All right, we turn around, and this is how I hurt myself. I fell off a ladder. They had a cheap ladder, and I fell. I didn't really fall, but the ladder kind of, and I fell on my knee, and I remember it hurt my knee. Then we did the varsity volleyball game. All right, we made, what did we make? We had to make like 200 doing both them two games. Then we turned around and did a JV basketball game, and we did the varsity game. We made about, my partner and I made about $400 just doing that, spending them 4 or 5 hours there. And we made about 3,000 just off this little school. Matter of fact, we found out they had soccer, and we saw some dudes doing the soccer game, and we was like, damn, we should have got our soccer, got our patches for soccer. But soccer made you run. That was the one test that made you run. We wasn't gonna do that. Yeah, they took those away from us. Yeah. Oh, it's easy to become a ref. It's easy. Just if you want to ref, the first things you do is look for state. Look at whatever state you're in. And I don't want to go into my state because it'll show you how to be it. But go into whatever state you're in. Go into the high school. Well, it's not even high school. Actually, it's the America Associate Referee Association, something like that. Just go into like really for your own state. Just go into state high school refereeing, and it'll give you the paperwork. And actually, the high school book and the college rule book is the same book. So they'll send you, because it says right on it, it says the high school and college rules, because the rules are almost identical. A few are slightly different, but basically they're the same. The second thing you do is, depending on the city you live in, see if there's a referee association. Ask ex-teammates, ask your coach. That would be, ask your coach. If you play sports and you know any coaches, ask your coach. And your coach will tell you. They'll get you started. One of my mentors, one of my family great friends was a ref, and he tried to get me to ref when I first moved to Michigan. And I was like, look, man, I don't want to be driving in the snow. Because, again, I'm moving from North Carolina to Michigan. And I said, look, I don't want to be driving in the snow with these little towns. That's what I told him when I moved to Michigan in 85. And then in 94, I ended up reffing. But I could have started reffing then. But I was coaching. I coached too. My first coaching job, actually, I started coaching little boy football and coached, as I said before, I coached a season of that. And then I moved to Michigan, and my first high school job was coaching freshmen. And it's funny, I taught, I'm straight run and shoot. And I taught some dudes how to really run it. I had some little dudes that could run it. I taught one little slow little dude named Mitch. I taught him how to catch the ball. I had one of my quarterbacks. I taught this dude, he was the first dude, like I would put them all together to see if they could do the 3-step drop. And he did it, he did it quick. I was like, ooh. And I think he won, let me see, which one? What did James, because James got hurt though. But James was the bomb. Like we won a couple games. One of my running backs, he ended up playing basketball at Central Michigan. And he was like a dude where nobody could stop him. If we was on the end zone, it was a sure touchdown. Nobody could beat him to the corner. It was like we would get in there, and I wouldn't even give him the ball running down the field. The other guys would do it because I just pass it. But once we got down there, it's like, oh, he got an easy touchdown. He could beat anybody to the corner. And so I coached 9th grade football, and then I coached 9th grade basketball, and then I coached JV football or JV basketball for 6 years. Yeah. Which is you usually assistant varsity coach too. So, yeah. But yeah, that's how to become a ref. You know, talk to a coach or just look up the associations. Each state referee association, each state has one, and you get certified in your state. But it's easier if you go through association. You know, go through association first, and then because the tests are tricky, so a lot of associations will help you with the test. I'll say that. They'll help you with the test. So. And I've been thinking about, doing football again in the fall, seeing if I can get a partner doing football. Hell no. Hell no. Funny, crazy, yeah. This is a true story. This is a true story. So I had a dude. No. Yeah, this is the most fucked up referee story, coach story I got to tell. So I needed to re-up, but I had a game. And this motherfucker I was dealing with was kind of, he wasn't setting me up or nothing, but he was just bullshitting. And like it took forever to get to yay. And finally the yay came, and I end up driving to the high school and getting to my game like at halftime. Over some yay, because this motherfucker's bullshit me. It is like, look, I need to make this money back. I'm only getting this punk ass money for doing this game, and I had to go. So yeah, it was fucked up. I walked up in the, but I'm a G. I walked up to, and maybe it wasn't quite halftime. I think I got there like the start of the second quarter. So yeah, that's the craziest story. And then the other crazy story is I had a dude named, I've said this before. His name was Esco Hill. Esco. 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 Now, Esco was from New York. He was from where LL and them is from. He's from that area. This nigga was wearing a clock back in 04, 03. And he was the first one. He's like, man, coach, this nigga say his name is LL and his name is Todd James. He's like, this dude live in the same projects we was living in. He was the first one to tell me that. I was like, okay. And Esco was about 6'4" when he was a freshman. He had a straight Jerry curl. Nigga from New York with a straight Jerry curl. And so we had a player, and we had another player, EJ. And EJ was like a senior, the big dog on campus. And for some reason, EJ, I don't know if EJ was jealous. I don't know what it was. But one day, these niggas just wouldn't quit fighting. So I broke them up in the locker room. I broke them up in the gym. I broke them up in the hallway. And so I'm going back to coaching, and somebody comes and gets me. It's like they're fighting outside again. And it's like, finally, like, I had to like jack them both up. And I threw EJ in his car and made him leave. And I grabbed Esco and took him back in the gym. But I mean, Esco, he had heart. Because again, he's a freshman fighting a senior. And he gave EJ, and I think EJ was just used to being the big man on campus, and Esco was there. But that was one of the funniest things. I don't know. It's like that short video my son did, talking stuff to your players. Like my son really could have. I thought he was going to do a thing of me, because I remember a way of talking. Everything used to be right. Like, I don't know if when you talk, you can talk to people, and it was a way we talk where every other word is right. And people will start agreeing with you. And it's like, come on now, we've been here before, right? We got it right here. We wanted to be in overtime, right? And I was just going on. And I remember my son teasing me because I was saying that. And I remember saying it. And I remember having, like, we had 3-4 overtime games in a row, and the guys were really playing good. And I just remember, just every game going in overtime, trying not to repeat ourselves. But the most realism The most realism, though, was my last team I coached. And that's not, all the coaching my sons, little boys, football, and all that. But the last time I coached, I didn't really know how sorry the children were. It was kind of hard to see. So I really thought I had a decent team. And we went to the first scrimmage, and I was like, shoot, I didn't have anything. My players were sorry, and I saw that. Now, I'll be the first to admit, my first job, my first year coaching JV, I won my first 5 games and lost my last 15. I won my first 5, but the whole story is this. Most of the year, I had 5 or 6 players. And so when I won my first 5, I had 10 or 11 players. When I lost, like I had one game where I only had 5 or 6 guys. I think I had 5 guys, and one guy fouled out, and they let him, the other coach said let him keep playing. Wow. You robbed. There's got a footage. You robbed motherfucker so dope, was a police and coach youth football, jack of all trades. Indeed. Wow. Indeed, OTF. Homie, I just looked up Esco Hill, and it says he got convicted for stabbing somebody to death in 2014. Same dude. Oh, man, that gets one of these. Okay.
What in the hell? Hell no.
Damn, they say stab somebody to death.
What in the hell?
In 2014.
What in the hell?
Oh my goodness, Esco Hill. Yeah, because he's got to be a cat. He would be, damn, how old would he be? Shit. I would imagine he has to be, I was in my 20s. I was only 10 years older than them people. So I was only 24, 25. So shit, he's got to be in his 50s. So if he killed somebody in 2014, I mean, he got to be in his 50s. So it might be him. Yeah, Esco Hill out of New York. He about 6'4", 6'5". He got convicted of stabbing somebody to death in 14. Wow. You know what? Look this one up. Larry Gibson. Y'all know that one. That's another dude I coached. We can look that one up together. See what they find on Larry Gibson. Larry. Y'all know this story. Another one of my players. Let me see if I can find Larry. Nah, let me see. No. Oh, they ain't got Larry's stuff on here. I don't find it. Man. They ain't got Larry's stuff on here. Y'all remember? Wait, what is this it? This ain't it. I might have to put this in front of it. Let's see. Larry Gibson. See if this helps. All right. Larry ain't on here. I can't find Larry. Let's see, is this it? That's me. It says 24 is watching. That's racist. They ain't got Larry on here, y'all. Did I spell it right? Yeah. Let's see. Is this it? No. Because Larry had one of them stories. Let me think. Larry was on my first team, so Esco and Larry wasn't together. But Larry, how did the story go? Larry escaped from prison and killed a cop to escape. And this was a boy that I coached. Larry Gibson. I can't find him. I was looking him up. Let me see on the phone if I can find him. Let me Google it. Let's put it another way. Let's see if this will have it. No. Nope. These are not it. No, Larry died a long time ago. They do not have. Anyway, Larry escaped from court or some shit. Just like that, I was telling you about the Virginia story. One of my ex-players did the same thing. Larry escaped from court, killed somebody at court, and then they ended up killing him. And he was a dude I coached. So I guess those is about the two craziest stories. So I can't find nothing about Larry, but Larry's story was crazy. Larry like really escaped court, killed somebody while he escaped, and was escaped for a minute, and then they killed him, or he killed himself. I don't remember. But Larry was the dude that was just stupid shit. Like Larry and Esco both was like this, and this is how it goes traps. When I had Esco, I had a bomb team. Going into my first game that year, I had Esco. I had another dude. His son is about to play college football next fall. Where Tommy's son. I don't want to say his name until I remember where he's going. I'll bring it up later. But one of his son is going to play college football. But anyway, I had him. They was both 6'4". I had a solid team. The day of the game, a teacher fucks with Esco, gets him suspended from the game. Now, looking back at it, this teacher purposely tried to get this student suspended. So you imagine when I go to I'm hyped. I'm like, this is my best team. And I'm going there, and then all of a sudden they tell me my best player can't play. Because he done got in trouble. He ain't getting trouble leading up, but the day of, a teacher did some shit to make him, so he couldn't play. And it's funny, Esco, we played a away game, and he had 35 as a freshman. Maybe he was a sophomore. Maybe I'm saying he was a sophomore. Yeah, he might have been a sophomore, not a freshman. Now I think about it. Because he played a little bit of varsity that year too. And I lost track of him. But you saying he probably in Georgia prison or on death row. Wow. That's a name. That got to be him. That's a name. Yeah, I couldn't find him. Yeah, I couldn't find Larry though. I was looking for Larry because Larry had one of them escape stories. He had one of them escape stories, and I can't find him. I cannot find Larry Gibson. That was his name. He's a light-skinned brother. And he broke away from court and killed somebody. And then he got killed, or it was like had a shootout and shit. It was like, so I can't find that cat. Really? Oh. So yeah, that's probably my craziest two stories. Coaching is pretty simple, it's like having to ride back on the bus. And I told this story before, well, my coaching. my son was, my ex got mad at me. So she wouldn't watch we was all together and she wouldn't watch the boys while I go do the game. Like my one boy was 12, my other boy was 4 or 5. So, And so I coach my game. My other son watches him. My son and I are sitting together and the fire alarm goes off. And come to find out, my son had pulled the fire alarm. Because when the alarm goes off, this little mug was sitting next to me. But the fire alarm was like in the middle of the wall where the bleachers, like it was, you could reach it from the bleachers. And this little boy went and grabbed it. And after that, he's like, you can bring your other son, but you can't bring him. It's like, yeah. And he was like right in front of me, but I never in the million years thought he was just going to mess with something. And that's what he did. He messed with something. No, I didn't get near. I know a lot of convicts. I don't know a whole lot. I don't know a whole lot. I've never went to prison. The most I spent in jail was like 4 or 5 days. That's it. And that was for child support. So it was no long time. And that was for child support and then not having money to get to bail out. And it took me 5 days to get the money to bail out. So that's the longest I ever spent. Because that's the thing. You can always get out if you're not, you can always get out. But no, nowhere near. My junior year, we had a good team and lost in the district, sectionals, the districts. We lost in the districts. My senior year, everything was favored, but we just didn't have a good team. It was just like so many things that's just weird happened. No excuses, but like we had one guy, 6'5", that played with us. Left, like our junior years, he left. Great, not a great player, but he would have helped. My senior year, we had a guy in the school that was 6'7" that could hoop. He was in 10th grade, but he was 6'7". Oh, no, that's not even talking about Shaky Jake. We had a dude that grew up with me named Shaky Jake that was a year younger in school with me. My sophomore year, Shaky Jake plays freshman JV basketball. My junior year, Shaky Jake was only a year younger than me. My junior year, he's on JV basketball. Shaky Jake is 6'8". Known him since he was a boy. So going into my senior year, Shaky Jake was always a petty criminal and he went to juvenile. Didn't go back to high school. This guy was 6'8". Would have been on our team. It was another guy before, even with Shaky Jake, another dude. Charles Blue was his name. 6'7", in going to school with us, in school. They ain't never let him hoop. And he could play. So, oh, thank you, Sean, for joining. I appreciate it. So yeah, that was the only. So yeah, it's just my junior year. We had a really good team, and the thing that lost us, we was up with about 40 seconds left in the game, and my friend didn't know the rules. The ball bounced off his leg, and he didn't pick it up. He instead put his hands behind his back, like if I touch it, it's double dribble. No, you can always pick the ball up. So yeah, he cost us that game. But you know what, y'all? These been some good. There's a lot going on up here, y'all. But let's see. I did want you to hear this. Where is she at? Because this is important. Let's see. Where is she at? This might be buried a little bit, but it's worth listening to. So give me a second. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. It's gotta be in here. Right here. Yeah, this is it. All right, I'm gonna let. What? Why is it right there? No. Ah, there we go. Yeah, this would be it. And I got to pee anyway, but this is interesting, some good stuff. And I don't want that. I want this. I don't think this is talked about enough. And there, yeah.
Those who weren't able to watch that video, could you just tell us once more, what are the statistics? I'm Rosemary Miller. In the nation's very first office for missing and murdered Black women and girls will be signed into law in the state of Minnesota. And today we have the woman who's making it all possible, Representative Ruth Richardson. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Representative, we spoke a few months ago and you did lay out the stats, but for those who weren't able to watch that video, could you just tell us once more, what are the statistics?
Yeah, we know that there is definitely a crisis as it relates to missing and murdered Black women and girls within the United States. The statistics are startling. There is somewhere between 64,000 and 75,000 Black women and girls that are currently missing within the United States. And what that range tells us is that we don't even know the extent. We don't even know how many Black women and girls are missing within this country. But we know when Black women and girls go missing that their cases stay open 4 times longer than cases involving their white peers. And we also know that Black women are over 4 times more likely to die from homicide. And one of the really, I think, striking and also just startling statistics is over the last couple of years, we have seen just an increase in cold cases involving Black women who have died by homicide. That cold case rate has increased 89%, which is more than any other demographic. So it's a true crisis that we have within the United States.
Right. Oh, wow. Representative, what will your office do to alleviate some of that?
So the design of the office is really it's really about creating a structure that involves multiple pathways. At the top of this work is prevention. How do we prevent the issues that we know that are often tied to these disturbing statistics? Here in Minnesota, Black women make up less than 8% of the population, but they represent over 40% of the reported domestic violence cases. So as we begin to think about ways that this office will be operating, there'll be prevention efforts around addressing domestic violence, prevention efforts around addressing human trafficking. Black women and girls are oftentimes more likely to be targeted for trafficking. And we've heard really startling admissions from people who've been convicted as traffickers that oftentimes they're targeting Black women and girls because the perception is that you won't be caught or you'll get less time for that. So prevention will definitely be one of the efforts. But we're also focused on cold cases. As we continue to see this increase in the number of cold cases involving Black women and girls, we want to make sure that there are resources.
All right. I thought that was noble. I thought that was noble to give me a break. Because, see, one way mass murderers get away is they kill people that people don't pay attention to, that society doesn't pay attention to. And that's how they get away with it. Some people call it throwaway murder, throwaway murders that people don't, because people don't matter. You know, if you don't have any influence, don't present yourself in a certain way, the people stop mattering. That's why it's so easy. It's so easy to kill it's really easy to kill a drug addict. Now, I mean, look at the way they've killed these celebrity drug addicts. Just say they OD. Now, you know how long they've been saying people OD? Like Jimi Hendrix, they didn't even say OD. They tried to say, I mean, how do you die with both your lungs filled with wine? Like, how did you take, like, explain that? Jimi Hendrix had both of his lungs, like he was literally waterboarded. Someone put a bag over Jimi Hendrix's head and they poured enough wine to fill up both of his lungs. That's how he was tortured, killed. Janis Joplin, they say, this is what's alike. The way Lynn Bias died and the way Janis Joplin and Don Rogers, let's add him to the list too. The purity of the drug, like Janis Joplin's, this even comes up, you look up her stuff. The purity of the heroin that killed her, she shouldn't have possessed. She had pharmaceutical grade heroin. It's almost like today it'd be like she had fentanyl. It was that good. And they say the same thing about Lynn Bias. Again, there's a book out that came a year or two after he died that gave two scenarios. One scenario, they was freebasing. One scenario, they was snorting. And I said this before, it was even for Brian, Brian Trimble? He tells on himself. And I've mentioned this many, many times before. Brian Trimble killed Lynn Bias. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to show you his own words killing, because this is what he testified. And this is, you look at the 30 for 30, this is what he said. He said they would snort, and if somebody came by and knocked on the door, they would put the cocaine in a drawer. So he's kind of telling you he was kind of controlling it. They had a plate. Somebody knocked that didn't snort cocaine, they would put the plate in the drawer. All right? So one of them times he put out pure cocaine that he knew Lynn would do. Because notice, nothing happened to the other dudes that was doing cocaine. And if you read the court case, again, get the book. It's a book that came out 85, 86, 87, whenever he died. It was a book that came out shortly after. One of the investigators did a good book. And none of the other dudes had what happened to him. And then it came out to try to say he did this much coke during the day. And then they find a rock bigger than this of hard powder in his car. It was like a rock like this of hard powder in his car. So you see all the setup? That's what got Lefty Drizel fired, because of the cover-up. And then Brian Trimble didn't OD, did he? So he murdered Lynn, no doubt. The evidence is his own word. Look up to 30 for 30. His own word tell you. He pretty much controlled it. So somewhere in there, he gave him pure cocaine, like pharmaceutical grade cocaine. And that's what he seized on. He didn't seize on the normal cocaine he had been doing all day. He seized on stronger cocaine, maybe even cocaine like fentanyl back then. Because that's how they do it. Have I ever made a buzzer beater? Wow. No. I've hit a couple shots that was like, one shot I hit about 40 feet out, and it was a shot. And I was looking at the buzzer, and I got it off before the buzzer went off, and they didn't give it to me. But I got it off because I was facing the clock and everything. When I lifted it before the buzzer went off. I shot it, and then the buzzer went off, and that shit dropped. Another game, I remember I went through the lane, and shit, I went through the lane, everybody, I went right, and I end up, I jump off my right leg, but I'm up in the air, and somebody came here, so I had to switch left hand and flicked it up, put us up by 2. And then this dude caught this ball over us on baseline and hit it on us to beat us. I mean, it was a great shot. Another game, we had a guy, you know, two of us guarding him damn near half court. And that fucker hit that shit on us, hit a three. And I told the worst one was when we played against Terry Durod. And Terry was just a great story, great guy too. He was, I think, a long-time firefighter, if I'm not mistaken. I have to talk to my homeboy again, but first time I saw Terry, I was probably in 8th grade. And like Terry came out, I think he was with wasn't Pershing. Maybe Terry did go to Detroit Pershing. I can't I'd have to look him up quickly, remember what high school. But Terry would wear a headband. He wear like a headband around his neck. And so, and again, this is regional games, you know, Michigan regional. So we call our sectionals districts, you know, just your district, and then you go into regional. This is regional stuff. So people that have won their districts. And Terry, I think it was Terry against Greg Lloyd. And Terry, because Greg Lloyd, I want to say, went to Detroit Eastern. So Terry might have went to Pershing, but I had to look it up. But anyway, he wore the headband around his neck. So he come down, everybody would go, do, and he'd shoot. And if he missed, they would go, ah. And then he'd come down again, and everybody go, do. And if he hit, that shit, the whole crowd, his side of the crowd would go, rod. I mean, that shit was crazy. He would take his headband and put it up on his head and run down court after that first J. And I want to say, you know, when Michael Jordan had to get he called it the love of the game, he was the first one to change it because it was Terry Durod rule that stopped unsanctioned basketball. Because I get Greg Lloyd and Terry Durod mixed up, but I think Terry Durod played on the 1980 championship with Boston, with Larry Bird. Larry Bird's first championship, it's either Terry Durod or Greg Lloyd, but I want to say it was Terry. That Terry played on that Boston team. And he played a little bit. And Terry tore up his knee in the Pro-Am League in Chicago that summer. And after that, players could not play unless play in tournaments. And he never won the NBA again after that. And so after that, where, you know, you see Michael Jordan have to give for the love of the game clause, up to that point, you had to get sanctioned games. They stopped letting players play in non-sanctioned games because insurance wasn't covering them. Some bullshit. Ice Cube is not for the pop charts. You know, yeah, now the Heat, I think Lobo hit it on the head. The Heat, they look like they want another showdown with the Heat and the Lakers. I think Lobo might be right about that. Where is this other thing? So I wasn't surprised that they made the Heat look so good. Oh, check this out. We're going through this. What if you could do I don't know about that. What if I could do it? Now, this might be critical for some people here because they're trying to change the laws. Most of all, get funky, most of
Big
all.
rideshare companies, Uber and Lyft, and their drivers. WCCO's Caroline Cummings joins us right now to explain why the companies say a plan to protect workers will actually drive up costs.
What are the odds that they both have green on? What are the odds? Okay, let's go.
For customers. Hi, Caroline.
Good evening, Amelia. So supporters of this bill, including drivers, say they aren't making a livable wage and face increased risks on the road. So this proposal would set minimum payment rates to boost the driver's share of a ride's final bill. But even though this legislation has been scaled back from earlier versions, Uber warns that customers could see a 30% increase in their ride.
Okay, let me tell you. Let me break this down. Okay, let me tell you what they did here. When they brought all the Somalians in, at first, I mean, they gave them jobs for the state. They gave them the garages and they gave them the transportation. This is the main things they set them up in. And this is government interaction. Lyft put their foot in all them Somalians' ass on because they was nasty people. Do you know they had to force them? Because Somalians, remember, Muslims do not deal with liquor, right? Muslims do not deal with liquor. And most Muslims, when they first came here, they would not take people to the liquor stores because they can't be allowed around liquor, right? That's what they practice. They can't even be around it. So they were feeling that we'll risk our jobs. We can't take these people to the liquor stores. And then they was about to get fired and they was like, well, you know what? We're not drinking it, so we can take them. So I wanted to add that. And this Lyft and then made like put a big dent in people relying because again, you relying. I had to, damn, do I even want to admit this on wax? I had to choke a driver one time. Yeah, I had to choke a driver. And I got out and I was with my son, but I had to get in his ass because he mistreated me and I had to jack him up. Because he again, it was my fault for having to be in a situation where I needed the driver. But I had to get in his ass, in his cab. I had to like a couple times against the window. And then, I was like, hey, I'm cool. And another people came and got me. But I had to go off on him. I'm like, okay, this is your car and you driving and you like, I'm behind you and you gonna say that? So, yeah, I had to jack him up. But anyway, it's a different story than what this is. Okay, let's go.
Now, today, a coalition of Uber and Lyft drivers held a rally at the Capitol demanding the legislature pass the bill in the final days of session. And that bill is on a calendar for a vote in the House tonight and would require drivers get paid $1.45 per mile and
damn, the Somalians is in the Uber and Lyft. You see, because they was getting, people wasn't doing them in the cabs. They was getting undercut. So you see, look who's this. This is all Somalians. I'm a lie. This is all Somalians. So, because they had to adopt.
34 cents.
Look at all this. These are Somalians.
In the
These is all Somalians.
Twin Cities Metro.
Classic Somalian. Classic Somalians. Look at this. They're all the same family, really.
With slightly lower mileage.
Somalian. I don't know what he got on his head, but that's a Somalian. So I'm a lie. The Somalians is doing it too. But I've never had a Somalian Lyft or Uber driver.
Rates elsewhere in Minnesota. It also.
These is all Somalians. Damn. Where's the European Lyft drivers? I have never had a Lyft Somalian driver. They only cabs or medical rides or some shit. Because up here, they give you medical rides up here. Yeah, these are all Somalians. Okay, well, let's go.
Also will create a way to appeal a company's decision to kick a driver off the platform. Some drivers say they are deactivated without evidence or an opportunity to.
Is that a Somalian there? No, that's not a Somalian. So why is all of them protesting?
I took a family to Chaska from the airport. They charge these people $128 to Chaska. They're supposed to charge less money, but they're greedy. And they pay me only $40 for that ride.
Chaska from the airport. Now, Chaska would be west. We're talking about a trip without traffic, roughly 15 miles, maybe? 20 at the most? Not very far.
So it's not fair,
Man, you talking about overbite or underbite. Man, look at his underbite. His choppers, look how he chewing the gum and shit. Look, his shit is way out. The dude, you needed braces. You needed that herpes unit to bring that back in, dude. And where's his neck? I mean, like this dude has no neck. Like, what is his deal? Why doesn't he have a neck? You know, women tend not to have necks, but where's his neck at? Like, this dude has no, like, how does he turn his head? He had to move his shoulders to turn his head. But look at this dude here.
It's
insane.
You know,
He didn't
we
get
need
his
money. We to support.
And that's an ugly ass. He got mustard. Like, y'all, if y'all ever see me wearing some mustard, let me know. Like, dudes, like, he went in the store and said, ooh, mustard. What matches mustard? This looks like my tablecloth. But okay, let's go.
For our family.
Yeah, $40 ain't good enough.
Now, earlier versions of this proposal required Uber and Lyft to also provide accident insurance for drivers who are independent contractors. Now, that language was taken out of the bill, but still, Uber, in a statement to us, says if this bill passes and is signed into law, not only will some of those costs go up for people catching a ride, it might be hard to get a ride to begin with because services might be reduced in the state, Minnesota, in Minnesota. Amelia.
What they said is they might take Uber and Lyft away. And that's really what made it more affordable. But what Uber and Lyft has said is they might leave the state because of this. So we will see, y'all. We're going to start this thing off right. Oh, what is it? Why did they kill Len Bias? I think when Len Bias was a sacrifice for Michael Jordan. I think Len Bias was a sacrifice for Michael Jordan. You know what's interesting? I saw a short earlier of Ben Wallace. And you know what Ben Wallace had the nerve to say? He had the nerve to say that they wouldn't. See, this is how, when it's fixed and they'll tell you the truth. This is what he said. He said, if we would have drafted Carmelo Anthony, we wouldn't have won a championship. And that part is true. Because the league wouldn't have allowed it. But because they pushed that Metro, whatever his name was, that bum that never played, he was that dude they drafted in front of Carmelo. But again, Carmelo wasn't going to ever be allowed to win an NBA championship because he had won the college championship. They punish dudes. Not everybody that wins college championships is going to win NBA championships. Sometimes they punish people. And he was one of the ones that got punished. So, the hygiene isn't great either. The funniest African joke about somebody stinking is Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor said when he went to Africa and got in the cab with a dude, he was like, damn. He's like, that nigga, he called it, Richard Pryor said he had odor. Richard Pryor said he had odor. And he was like putting his head out the window and shit because he couldn't breathe. But he said that it was brilliant the way he said. He said the African dude was driving like this with his head out the window because he was like, that cologne and that deodorant smells funny as shit to me. So, yeah. I can drop a link to the article in chat for you to look at. It talks about French aristocrats involved in Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison's death. I'm sure you've heard of it, especially Jim Morrison's. But yeah, Janis Joplin, again, that's the story. If you listen to him, the amount of heroin that she had was she shouldn't have been. And it was probably even fentanyl back then. There's probably killing people with fentanyl back then. See, this is what we know that addicts are vulnerable. Like Richard Pryor is a great example of, if you look at Richard Pryor when he gets away and goes to Africa, because that's where he can get away from all the cocaine people and shit. Especially after he got burnt, he wanted to get away from them. Because even after he got burnt, the cocaine people came right back in. Because they hated the Richard Pryor that went to Africa that was strong, that had a free mind. People forget that Richard Pryor was given $30 million that was probably equal to $300 million now to make movies. And he only made one movie. It was his movie. Because Jim Brown had Purple Rain. Jim Brown had The Color Purple. And he rejected them because they didn't have all black cast, all black, he rejected them. And so Richard Pryor had to fire Jim Brown. But they didn't want that Richard Pryor. They wanted a Richard Pryor that was a drug addict and wasn't strong, wasn't a good businessman. But see, like they got them all like that. I mean, look how many people was vulnerable. I mean, look at Bill Cosby. They saw his vulnerability was women. They knew that from the beginning. His vulnerability was the women. Even the women going in, they knew. They was like, people told you, look, you gonna fall asleep being with Bill. Bill gonna hit it while you sleep. He ain't gonna beat you up or nothing. So most women knew that going in about him. And then when they ready to turn it, they turn it. And none of us are perfect, no doubt. But it's like, if you're in that position, they will use your weirdness against you. And let me say that again. They will use your weirdness against you. It's different. They will use your weirdness against you. It's different. And that's why when you move up so high, you keep your weirdness around you. You just make it a personal thing. You don't have to be, what was his name? You don't have to be like the Caesar, the all out orgies and shit. You just keep that, whatever it is, you keep it to yourself. If you like having animals and shit and goats and shit up in your house and shit, and that's your thing, well, hey, don't let everybody know. Make them think you're slaughtering them and you're a voodoo doctor. Do like that. I'm the voodoo doctor. That's why I got these goats up here. I'm cutting their necks and, I got some voodoo shit. Have an excuse. And that's realer than Real Deal Holyfield, for real. My uncle Slick told an uppity Nigerian, you'd have taught you the word deodorant before you taught you the N-word. Did they eliminate Pamela Corson too? I don't know who that is. Homie. Yep, they use your weakness against you. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know who Pamela Corson is. Wow. Find out what his weakness is. Give him anything he wants. Body Soul, starring Isaac Kennedy and Muhammad Ali. Too sweet. You too sweet. You too fast. And how Mr. T was saying, to Isaac Kennedy, you too sweet, you too fast. Too sweet, too sweet. Hey, the tribe of Judah, what is happening? Thank you for joining. Ooh.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come.
Say what?
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I.
Say what?
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I.
What?
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when.
No.
I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the.
That's what I was just doing. I
hit the loot juice and pulls up in the.
I was hitting my juice. Party all the time. Party all the time. What they say? Don't you know that it's true? As for me and for you, the world is a ghetto. Oh my goodness. Hey though, let me bring it out again. There's some things, really. Right here, I got essential oil burning. And again, there are things that fight this disease that wants to take your memories away. So no matter how old you are, you start these good habits. So you want eucalyptus. peppermint, spearmint. You want these things around your environment. You want to inhale these things. These things will help you, because a lot of, it's not just calcifying everything, calcifying you, but it's more than that. It's
Do not go to fabletters.com.
do not go there. But so want to give that a little bit out. But it is tough being up here, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why it's tough. It is tough being up here.
Clues at a mosque because they think someone tried to set it on fire.
Crews responded around 8:30 this morning to the fire at the Tawhid Islamic Center on North Dale Street in St. Paul. Jonah Kaplan is there, and he joins us now from outside the mosque. So have you learned anything from officials, Jonah?
Amelia, in fact, we've been watching investigators going in and out, and you can still smell the remnants of the fire this morning. You see this police line tape right here. It says, "Do not cross." That's, of course, as a barrier to keep the public out, but it's also kind of a dividing line. Inside here, fire investigators, the fire marshal, ATF, and then outside, St. Paul police looking for clues maybe.
What in the hell? Hell no.
Yeah, this is a hell of an attack, y'all. This is a hell of an attack. Now, remember what I was showing you, it's a lot of Somalians here. And I'm not trying to do anti-Somalian, but a lot of people, for families, they gave them automatic, no waiting Section 8. When they brought them here in the 90s, they was giving the families like $50G to start, cash. Section 8, $50G, free healthcare, free everything. $50G cash back in the 90s. And a lot of people resentful of that the tax money went for that. And they got all these set-asides to set up this community that the CIA, Black Hawk Down. That's why the Somalis are here, is Black Hawk Down. Because they lost. Their tribe lost. And as I've said before, when your tribe loses, what do you do to the ones that helped the people try to kill your tribe? Remember Black Hawk Down? And Black Hawk Down was the first time you really saw melanated people going after Europeans in a major way, fighting them back with their own ways. It was a beautiful movie to see. I mean, for me, a young man that always felt a certain way about Europeans, it was a beautiful movie to see. Europeans getting it. Europeans showing fear. It's a great movie to see that they wasn't supremacists. It was bullets in their ass, and they just as much cowards as anybody and everybody else. And, it's movies that show you that. It takes away all white supremacy. And look at this little bit of fake hair he got right here. This is all fake. See where his natural hair is? He went for the fake puff. He got the fake puff. But this is serious. Now, I'm not saying anything against these people, but this took a greater effort than what I've been showing what's been done. And this was major. What caught this on fire is major. And so these people have been under attack.
On the periphery, and that includes security.
Look how bad it looks up front. Man, must be rough having to be on news when you're bald and they talk you into getting fake hair and your hair, you go cheap and it don't look good.
Security cameras. An afternoon call to prayer and a reminder that some sanctuaries sit inside, but there's always room for the Almighty in your heart.
When you attack a place of worship in America, it comes back stronger. It comes back.
Okay. Somalian. This is a Somalian. Okay, let's go.
Bigger, and you create more friends.
Daoud Mohammed telling us his mosque, the Oromo Tawhid Islamic Center, also serving as a community hub. The building had been undergoing renovation, so no one was inside and no one was hurt. Still, the suspected arson attack, leaving many members with emotional wounds.
My worst fear when I look at this.
Damn, that seemed like they did it. Now that makes me think they did it. Empty building, they've been getting this pub. Makes me think they did it.
This is that my 4-year-old son who lives here, my beautiful wife who lives and works here, who's also a product of our great state of Minnesota, getting attacked tomorrow and that being okay.
According to investigators, fire crews first arrived at 8:30 a.m. Wednesday. Detectives were still combing through the debris later in the afternoon. This is the sixth suspected attack on a mosque this year in Minnesota.
Yeah, this is fake. Now, I said this one. You see the umbrella, and we saw the umbrella before. There's no need. It ain't raining. Why he got this? So we know this is fake because of the umbrella.
Second in 2 weeks in St. Paul, after surveillance footage captured vandals throwing rocks at the Masjid al-Sunnah Mosque on Peterson Street.
And this is another African, or makes you think that because of the dress.
Police officials saying they will increase patrols at mosques across the city.
And remember, this is an empty mosque. No one was there, so it seems like they did this.
The mayor promising he'll lobby to raise funds for more security cameras.
If you come anywhere near a mosque in St. Paul, be prepared to say cheese because you will be on camera and we will be able to see you.
So the city of St. Paul is going to watch every mosque? Or are you just going to give him the funds? Wow. You really said that, dude. You really said that. You're going to be on camera. What does that really do? What does that really do? Being on camera. You can put mask on. So this guy's an idiot.
After the news conference this afternoon.
Look how sloppy this dude looks. Like what? He's somebody's relative. Look how sloppy he looks. This blazer's fairly new, and they went cheap. I mean, golly, they went cheap with this. So it ain't his fault they're cheap, but golly, you look sloppy, dude. You on TV and you look this sloppy.
Afternoon, I had a chance to talk with one of the deputy chiefs in St. Paul Police one-on-one, and he was
one-on-one.
Was telling me there really have not been any direct threats made against this mosque or any others. Investigators are going to be trying to now piece together the clues to see if there's any connection between this and some of the other attacks.
She really looks enthusiastic. She's like, talk about these Africans again. I don't really give a fuck. Look, she don't look enthusiastic at all.
Governor Wall said,
look at how stone faced she is. Like this story gives her no emotion. Oh my goodness. Like, and she thinks she's European and she's not. She's an islander or something, but she's not European, but they think they're European because it's her and her husband, but let's go.
Today also tweeting, we have no tolerance for this kind of hate. Amelia.
All right.
All right. Oh my God, I got no tolerance for ugly people. Oh yeah, that looks like they did that. I think they did that to themselves. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. Victor. Oh my goodness. Victor Wamamonia is the most. Victor is Ben Simmons. He's Ben Simmons. What is the difference between Chad? Victor and Chad. Chad 7'3" or 7'4". Victor 7'5". Chad sprained his ankle in the summer league, and they kept Chad out all year. Chad went to OKC, remember? Built very much the same way. Chad sprained his ankle in the summer league, and they kept Chad out the whole year. So you think, why are we going for it? And we got another PSYOP going to the PSYOP coach. And doesn't he play for their G League already? So, yeah, he's another overhyped. Again, if Chad, and see, this makes me think why they said Chad out. Because Chad built the same way, would have played this past season. No one would have thought about that dude because Chad is the same size. They hiding him like they hid Ben Simmons. They ain't want to play college basketball because they don't want to have to go to the NCAA March Madness. They want to hide these dudes because these dudes fold under pressure. So they don't want them to go through March Madness. And this is another dude's going to be the same way. So don't be surprised if he doesn't play next year. Don't be surprised if he doesn't play. Back in the day, male newscaster was not fat. Those on screen, yep. It's bad. That's crazy. Why do they put these dudes just for them to do nothing in the NBA? Yeah, that's a good point, Nico. That's a good point. Look at Ghana's brothers. Ghana's brothers got rings. Both his brothers, all of three of them got rings. Ghana's and his two brothers got rings. Oh, I wanted to show this. Just to show you, I found this. Let me see. What is this? I don't know how to spell. Yeah, it's right here. Let's see if I can find it. All right. This is some bullshit. I don't know why I'm looking for it in here. What? Then what do they call it in this book? Do they call it this other name? Oh, here we go. Silver copper. They don't mention this. That's why I got more in one book. I wanted a picture. She doesn't have pictures. Well, I got to get the older. Well, let's see. Other ways to find things. Oh, no. Go back. There we go. Yeah. All right, here we are. Let's see. Okay. No, just this. Wow, okay. Wasn't really what I wanted. It's not what it means. Ah, that'd be it. Okay. Ah. Yes. How do I want to show it? Ah, this might show it a little bit. Not trying to hedge. I don't know if this does justice to what I have. Okay. I want to show you a little bit something, and I don't know if the light is going to catch this. Oh, both flashlights are in the other room. So I don't know if you can catch this, but this is some iron. But this one has the blue banding. But you see the red there? And then you see the blue banding. And I don't have a lot of light to show you the piece. But yeah, and this is what iron looks like. Again, I just have a small amount, but this is what the bigger amounts look like. Yeah, see, I have kind of banding like this piece. See the blue? You can get it, the blues in it too. This one has a little blue in it. But giant ruby, okay. No, just iron. These might be meteorites. Yeah, these are meteorites. So sorry. It's not giving me just iron ore. There. Okay, here we go. This is supposed to be just iron. Red patches. And of course, you would have had to melt this down. I don't think this is meteorite. Some of this other stuff is just giving me meteorites. But anyway. But yeah, this is a piece of iron. Oh, there it is. You can see the red and blue bandings. Iron ore. And this was just our fill rock. This is just fill rock. The other piece I've got here is a piece of pink quartz, pink granite. Oh, here we go. This is pink granite with this big old piece of quartz in it. Again, this is just my fill rock. See that big piece of quartz? Get it right. And I don't have my flashlight with me. See that big piece of quartz in it? And this is just fill rock. It's a big old piece of quartz. And this is all milky quartz. This is just all milky quartz. Now part of my collection. But this is in my backyard, my fill rock. I mean, pink granite is the highest vibrational stone, and this is all over here. I had to ground earlier today. You know, I grounded earlier today. What are they on for? Oh, okay. You know, just to touch my feet in the ground. You dig? I think Victor, who's Victor? Do you push these dudes just for them to do nothing? I'm looking at the other leagues right now. I'm kind of done with the NBA. So Victor played for the Spurs G League. That's what they've been saying. That's what the word is not his, that he's been signed with their G League team for a minute. So I don't know. That's what I've been hearing. So we'll see. And we already know he signed with Nike because we saw they had Nike. Yeah, Victor is definitely an MK asset. You saw his daddy? Yeah, and if that is daddy, he's definitely MK asset. Yeah. Jimmy Butler last shot to ice the game was straight magnets. The ball was obviously rolling out, went in. Not hard to find. What is it? Hang what's happening? Thank you for joining. The ball bounced bounced. Oh yeah.
What in the hell?
That's what you get, Hang Hand. It did. Yeah, it was. And then when I saw that, and now I got to see because they erased it earlier. They wouldn't let me post it. I made a video about that earlier tonight. Let's see if they'll let me post it. Still pending. Yeah, why is this still pending? Yeah. Shit. Don't care. Publish it anyway. Wow. Yeah, they don't like that video. They won't let me post this. They're still fighting it. Pending. Wow. Restrictions. Check starting soon. I posted this about a half hour ago. They're still not letting it go. Yeah. So they're holding that one. They're holding that one about that. And they didn't even show it. I didn't even get good angles of it. It was just a back angle of the ball bouncing like that. So I don't know why they're scared of it. Because they're in cahoots with them. And, you know, NBA sucked. Or YouTube TV sucked tonight. They sucked tonight. Yeah, for some reason, they don't want me to show this bouncing. They are not letting this go. Yeah, they are pending it. Yeah, they are holding this one up. So, I can only do what I can do. Oh, good. So, Maybe it was one thing I had. Oh, what is this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, on the Celtics game. I can't say on the Lakers game, but I bet the Celtics game 2, be a blowout for the Celtics. I bet game 2, the Celtics blow out the Heat at home. Watch. I mean, it's kind of almost predictable how they do it. So don't be surprised. Jimmy Butler turns into Corey during the playoffs. I don't know. Our incompetence leads back mayor in LA just became a bastard to India. Wow. But all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler can shoot, especially he's mid-range game. Yeah, he's mid-range. He's always been mid-range, but they can make anybody be a star, you know? Everybody is a star, remember? Remember that song? Everybody is a star. Or everybody can be a star. And that's what it is. That's what we see with these games. Everybody can be a star. So they can turn it on. Because when you see that high bounce, yeah, that's a dead giveaway that it's a manipulated shot. That's the first thing that should come through your mind. It's like, wow, why did they manipulate that one? And again, they can make them in and they can push them out. So don't forget that part too. They can make it go in and they can push them out. Then Tatum turned the ball over on purpose twice in the last 2 minutes. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And that becomes obvious too. The stupid turnovers, and then this is the obvious fixed move. This is the obvious fixed move. They're told to do this when it's fuss. What did I do? I mean, why would everybody? You would think everybody would act different, you know, but no, everybody's like, that's what they're told to disagree. Klay Thompson used to be like, you know, his stuff was too gay. Like, wow, really? That's how I used to do. Like, no. It's like, where'd you learn that from, buddy? But yeah, I didn't touch him. He'd be done slapped him on the arm. So what is that all about? What is that all about? So, but it makes you see what it is. It's entertainment. And that's their license. Their license is entertainment. That's why this Ja Moran stuff makes no sense. And I don't even like talking about stuff like this, but it makes no sense. Because he didn't do a crime. How does it hurt their image? How does it hurt the image of a person not committing a crime? How does it hurt their image? That's the biggest thing with him. How does it hurt the NBA's image? He's out of contract. Do you know what happens when the season ends? You're out of contract. So how is he getting suspended when his season is done? How are you suspending him for next year? And the league and his union will protect him with that. Because again, he's off season. He's not doing anything illegal. So it's a non-story that they want to make a story. And as we talked about the other night, he did it on purpose because that's he's acting his part. He was told to do that. This is what he was told to do, if you understand. So it's a non-story. Again, everything goes into what does it mean to me? Shouldn't mean nothing to you. Shouldn't mean nothing to you. That's what it should mean. Shouldn't mean anything to you. They just took Ja Next Mike's shoe off websites. Yeah, but they still got them shoes like they did Kanye. They tried to say, I was upset when I found out the NBA was rigged. Yeah, well, you know, I was kind of too. Because when that Dr. J team lost to Bill Walton, but it was just like Adidas and Kanye shoes. They knew they was going to release them shoes. It was too much business involved. And they already got the bad publicity from the Michael Jordan movie. They gave Adidas bad publicity. Seemed like people that ain't together. And remember, Adidas and Pumas was two brothers. Brother was done wrong at Adidas, so he went to and started Puma. You didn't know the history of it. So, so what did he do wrong? He made a promise never to hold a gun again. That's against the law. There's no way a business can tell you to never hold a gun again. Now, he made a promise to say, well, I'll never be filmed holding a gun. I mean, that could have been it. Maybe he made that promise. I'll never be filmed holding a gun. I guess I can back up a little bit. Ooh, there we go. I didn't do any good. I gotta pee again, so I'm gonna bring something up. Give me another stand-up break. There we go. Oh man. Here we go, y'all.
The negotiations are wrapped up.
Yeah, they're wrapped up. How long is this? Oh, I got more than enough time to. Yeah, let's hear it. Our favorite couple, Frank and Amanda. Why go pee?
And pot is now on a clear path to becoming legal.
Here's a live look at the Minnesota state capitol tonight, where DFL lawmakers came to a cannabis compromise and merged their two bills. So what's rolled up in the final legislation? Rex Chapman spoke to the bill's author to answer some of your biggest questions.
It's been a slow roll for the legalization of recreational cannabis in Minnesota.
This bill has gone through such an extensive public process. 31 hearings between the House and the Senate just this year, not to mention people traveling around the state talking to folks about this.
But now that cannabis smokers will get the go-ahead to light up recreationally, there are some questions. Some want to know, when can you buy it? One of the authors of the bill, Representative Zach Stevenson, says that's still a ways off.
Because we have to set up the agency that's going to regulate this, and they've got to come up with their rules and create the licenses and issue the licenses. So that is probably 12 to 18 months away. On August 1st of this year, it will no longer be a crime to possess up to 2 ounces of cannabis when you're out and about, and up to 2 pounds in your home.
That's right. Come August 1st, it will be legal to have 2 pounds of pot on you in public and up to 2 pounds at home. If you were convicted of a low-level cannabis offense, the new law will help clear your record.
The BCA is going to start the process of doing automatic expungements for low-level cannabis offenses starting on August 1st and continuing probably for a year.
But Representative Stevenson says make sure you don't puff, pass and get behind the wheel.
So we're treating this the same way we treat alcohol. Just as it's dangerous to drive when you've been drinking, it's dangerous to drive if you...
There's no test to tell if you smoke weed unless they take blood. So get the fuck out of here. This shit is legal. You can have up to 2 pounds in the crib. So Minnesota is very great. So I think California, you can only have an ounce. They say you can have some pounds and you can grow more pounds. So glad to be here. You may freeze me for 6 months, but you're going to let me smoke all the weed I want. And I'm going to smoke more weed and edibles. And I'm going to take edibles and I'm going to drive. And it's going to be stronger edibles. So thank you, Minnesota Europeans, for finally coming to your senses. After prohibition, there should have never been. So, what does my man say?
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loot juice and pulls up.
I hit the loose juice as I get in the deuce.
I hit the loot juice
as I pull in the deuce.
I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce.
Yes, after taking some edibles, I
hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce.
After I take some edibles, I
hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce.
After I take some edibles, I
hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce.
After I take some edibles, I
hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce.
Yeah, and I go rolling. There's nothing better than smoking weed or taking an edible and rolling. Yeah, I remember, I don't know if this was ever a thing anywhere else, but we used to just like get in the car and have some joints and just ride around town, you know, like, what was that 50s movies and shit? What was that 50 movie that Ron Howard did? American graffiti and shit. Motherfuckers been doing that shit for then, living in these medium-sized towns where you can just smoke. Niggas is like, hey, we just go, niggas we get together, be like, hey, we about to do, turn some corners. Can we come get you? You want to turn some corners? Nah, nigga, ain't no women with me. I don't turn no corners with y'all. But everybody, yeah, come get me. And that would be a thing. And then we all end up at the Rib Shack eating barbecue beef. You guys should eat blueberries every day. It's like drinking sugar water, getting the folic acid with the She Legit. I mean, one thing they tell you about Alzheimer's and dementia is your guts. It's like the shit you putting in your nose and what's going into your gut is the two things that's, with dementia. So, I've been curing my water since 15 with copper. I've had this since 15. So this is the first thing I do in the morning. I'll fill this up. One of these? I have one of these next to my bed. The first thing I do when I get up, well, let me, okay, I don't want to cap. I do have to pee some mornings when I wake up. So, I'm an old dude, so I'll go pee. But then I drink one of these. Because you should drink water and eat before you drink coffee. It's better for your gut. So just some things to think about. That's all. Just some things to think about, y'all. Send me some my way. There you go. Frozen blueberries are the bomb. Yes.
I hit the loop juice. It pulls up in the.
That's what it is.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man. Is what they call me when I.
That's right. I'm a walking dead man. They call me as I'm coming. I'm like Omar.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man. Is what they call me when I.
I'm like Omar, baby. Omar. And Omar turned out to be a sissy. Well. That's how it goes. So how long have I been? 2 hours. Oh, I'm going to bed. I'm going to try to wake up. I didn't get to play pickleball. It was like I went to my park. I was noble today, y'all. I was noble. There was a free food giveaway at the casino. And where I play pickleball is, I've told many times before, is on the reservation. So, and it's literally to get food, you go to the right, to go to my left is to play pickleball. So I went and sat in line for about 35 minutes and got my son some food. A couple things of burger, maybe 2-3 pounds of burger, a bunch of fucking vegetables and shit. I kept some apples and some avocados. So I didn't get to play pickleball because after I got done, it was like damn near 4 o'clock and nobody's out there. I go to the other place where I played yesterday, and it's a couples thing, and it was just like, it was really windy for one, and it's like, it just looked like, I don't know, it just didn't look like I could play, because that place tends not to be open play. So I came and ran 3 goddamn laps around on this motherfucker. This motherfucker show a track and you run and it's fans, and I got Richard Pryor playing. I'm laughing to Richard Pryor jokes as I'm running. I can run again. So I'm getting ready to beat my nephew who just got a scholarship to go to college. I'm going to beat him hooping because I'm secretly been hooping, or I'm secretly going to go hooping, or I'm secretly hooping. Because you saw me destroy my son, who's never really a hooper, but he still got destroyed. And my nephew is not like my son. He's a hooper. He's hooping right now. He's probably hooping somewhere, Nerf hooping, if not in his house. But he's a hooper. And I'm going to annihilate him. Watch. And it's not going to be fake. I'm going to beat this young boy because I may not be able to guard him, but he can't guard me either. and my legs are strong enough where I can separate. And well, now let's tell the truth about how rules go. Now, I'm about to be 62, and when 30 some days, he's 18. So there should be some rules that kind of even that out. Because even in drag racing, cars don't start at the same time. Do you understand what I'm saying? If your engine is slightly better than mine, you gotta hesitate. So that should be in one-on-one, right? In drag racing, we got red light, blue light. So in one-on-one, it should be the same way. So I should be able to hand check, but he shouldn't be, right? Why should this young man who's probably, his bones is stronger, why should he be able to hand check me? He shouldn't be able to hand check me, right? I should be able to hook. He shouldn't be able to. So we're going to have some rules that kind of, because I am quite older, and I should make a video. My man DJ LaFarve, he always shows videos of him exercising. I should show a video of me running. I'd be like Forrest Gump on this shit. Like, it'd be just like that. You see that? You see all that effort I'm showing you? It'd be just like that. But it'd be a lot noisier. Yes. And all the stuff on there, I take all that stuff off and I'll be into it. But, your gut controls your mood. Well, just consider it, young folks. Like they say, watch the way you trim your nose hairs. It's a hard one to call. That's a hard one. I remember I was at the mall a couple weeks ago about to buy some shit. And I normally trim my shit, but because I read that thing is like, I was out and the nose hair came out like to here. Like, how does it like grow that fast from I leave my house till I go somewhere and it's like, Rapunzel in my nose. You know what I'm saying? It's like this hair just dropped like this, about that long out of my nose. Like, I don't even, that's the like must be damn near the world record for a hair coming out somebody's nose. So, but that's one thing they say. They say picking your nose, Japanese people are really nasty. They eat their boogers. Now, I work with a lot of Japanese people, and I still think but they say that, boogers have shit in them that you should eat. I had the answer when I started saying it. Bacteria. Boogers have positive bacteria that won't hurt your stomach, but that's a cultural thing. But that is not for me. So those are little things. She legit, again, if you're any kind of meditation, it makes the signal clear. Yeah. If you have any kind of sensitivities at all, it makes things clear. Man. I know Brother Edward listening always wanted to break down some occult. I should break down a little bit. Where am I at? Yeah, so like it's interesting. Like Sly was talking about where, they know where all the fallen angels are and stuff, but it's deeper than that. They know all their names. They know that their attributes. Where am I at? Like every day of the week, even almost every hour, you can give you an attribute to either angel or a demon. Now, in the other system, in the system that the Mayans did, they did the same, not the same thing. They did, again, their gods, a god as a day of the week. And I think they copied that, but they put their own, this is how much we're controlled. And in this book is the new language. And this book is the new language. And I've been studying this language for a while. Because like my brother asked me, he's like, you've got some of this stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't think so. I started going through this book, but I was wrong. Because he did. And see, this is, as I said before, he gave me the full Jumanji tablets. And again, please forgive me for not putting the ebook up here. So I did have this. My brother asked me this, and this is, this is a part Zach and them don't teach. They don't teach Jumansi. Because in just this Jumansi tablet, they show you how you can have attributes to the zodiac. And so it's not just, it's a lot of different ways to get this information. It's a language. It's a whole language. And it's a language that if you look up enough, I mean, he gives clues. He gives clues and pictures and graphs of this language that they created. And I'll say this, listen to these goofies. One thing, the fuck is this? One thing that might make sense. I'll say for these goofies, one thing that might make sense. And this is my way of well, I'll just say this. We are under, see, like, okay, if you just say we're under some kind of dome, then you'd have to attribute everything. So everything would be attributed to that. And we know that doesn't last. That's broken down very easily. The same thing as mud flood is broken down very easily. But as I give them the attribute of this thing that we live in not being very old. I think that's the biggest thing they've highlighted. But what version? What version? As I've said many times before, the Europeans came and decimated our trees. I mean, from coast to coast, they literally, from the east to the west, killed all the trees. Now, they don't want to talk about that. And the only revenge the land did is the land gave them the Dust Bowl. Because they decimated all the trees. And again, they don't want to talk about that. Because if you look around you, even going through the mountains on either way, there's very few pockets of ancient trees. Because the Europeans that came to America, they decimated them. From the East Coast, all up and down the mountains, all the way out to the West. If you look around you, you see mostly at the oldest 100-year-old trees. That's it. When we know trees can be thousands of years old. But if you look around you, everything that's around you is mostly within 100 years old. Now, as I said before, I am convinced that Venice was created after they came to the Americas. They copied the technology and they made Venice, Italy after they came to America. And I have no want to see anything in Europe. I don't want to see the Eiffel Tower. I don't want to see none of that shit. Because again, what does it mean to me? None of that shit over there means anything to me. I have no tie to it, nothing. I don't want to go to Africa. I mean, they can bring Africa to me. I got to see the Akhenaten statue. They're going to bring that to me sometime. It's coming here again. Unless I missed it. I don't think I did. I get the strength from these Americas, but how old is this thing really? I mean, by my experience of working with water, I can pretty much guarantee water is 100 years old in our systems, as I said when I came on the other day. As I showed the video on how they're switching our water system over. Water's about 100 years old. Now, I know I have pictures of my great-great-grandfather. The oldest relative we got back is the 1600s. That's a name we have. That is a branch. And it can be true and fake at the same time. Because these could be my ancestors, but at the same time, as this reality ain't that old, it's like, okay, they're attaching me to something older. If you understand, they're attaching us to something that's really older than us and making us think we're related to that. Because that's very possible. That's an easy psychological thing to put on people. Remember Dark City, when they was giving him all the implants. They can put anything, you know, they can remember what many shows show you. They can just put somebody and do all these pictures in front of you, make you think, you know, that was they do it in the Matrix. You putting your whole life in front of you. And it's really just, you know, AI generated shit to give you a false narrative. So that's possible for any of us. You know, that's possible for any of it. How do you think deserts were formed? Again, they try to tell you that what was in Africa was once a oasis area, and now it's just desert. So obviously somebody killed it and killed all the living stuff there to make it the Sahara Desert. So obviously something killed all that life. But our technology, I mean, it's not as old as we think. And it's not technology, again, it's a form of magic. What we're facing is a form of magic. And I ain't going to just say, you know, I ain't going to cop out and say it's just a form of black magic. It is the Mai. I'm the only one that says what it is. You know, the techno god is the Mai. Now, how ancient it is, where it comes from, I don't know. It's linked in with the Anunnaki, no doubt. This type of magic, y'all seeing me and me got all this, this is the Mai. No doubt. Now, how old it is, I can't say. But it is a civilization builder. And how do you build civilizations? With making it easier for the people. One way you know that the Americans had a great way of life is by the art. And this is just one of many pieces I got of art from the Omen. The big head, it's a big head up there, right there. But my Omen temple is over here on my grandfather's table. And they had a lot of time for art. So that shows high society. When you have time for art, it shows high society. And this is all you see in the Americas, the Mayan. Art. That's why they tried to destroy so much of it. That's what the movie Fahrenheit 451 is about. Is about the Spanish destroying all the literature of Americas. And they literally destroyed 90% of it. Probably 95% of it, if not 98. It's only 1 or 2% of it that exists. Where did I just do it? The Codex. Here it is. I mean, there's very few of these that really exist. They try to remember, like when I would learn history and stuff, they would talk about, you know, they would say shit like, you know, America, they didn't read and write and have no written records or anything. This is what they were saying. And yet they knew they destroyed everything. This is what was taught in the 60s and 70s. No written records. That's what they were saying about the Indians. No language and everything. Was Jack and the Beanstalk really about a tree? No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Was it really about a tree? Yeah. Could have been about the society that lived in the trees. Yeah, exactly. As I said before, you know, it was a war between the trees and the people that lived on the ground. And I really never looked at Jack and the Beanstalk being the only, you know, myth that talked about that war. But that's really what it was, a war between the trees and the people that lived on the ground. And I don't know if the war was about gold, but it seems like it was something found that the people on the ground, again, who was saved. I mean, the people that were called the grounders were living in the trees when everything was flooded. That's how they were saved, is by living in the trees. But they were mad because the people that lived, you know, in the atmosphere, which they really couldn't even comprehend. but they were saved. And then they went to war against the people that they couldn't see, because they could never defeat the people in the atmosphere because they couldn't even really comprehend them. So there was nothing they could attack but the trees they could see and attack. And that started the war. Yep. Well, Matt, thank you for joining.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead.
Thank you for joining. Well, we know, what was it called? Warehouse 451 or Warehouse 51, where it showed all the spiritual things that had inner energy that they thought was real, they would go get. And that movie was about what's at the Vatican. So the Vatican, any kind of, like one thing, where we at right here, Robert Simmons, that wrote, he's the Motivite dude. He's the Motivite king. He made Motivite popular. He talks about the chalice. The chalice that when Jesus is stabbed, they had the chalice that collected his blood, and he tries to say that the chalice was actually made out of Motivite, or even if you get into Percival, So greetings. Hey, Matt, thank you for joining. So yeah, it could be a lot. It could be a lot under. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely hidden there, and that's what it is. It's hidden. It's not exposed. Any veterans will tell you one of the first things they did is when they went into Iraq, they went into the museums and they didn't even try. What the stories is, they wasn't even trying to save the stuff. They went in there just destroying it. So why would they go to destroy? Why would the army be directed to go into the museums and start destroying things? Because remember, ISIS was doing the same thing. There's been, and not just easy to find stories that Americans were doing the same thing, not trying to keep the things, actually destroying them. So there's obviously there's things. I mean, it's like these crystals. These crystals have energy the same way. Harry Potter tries to show you that these, you can have wood, and you can make this wood into an energy releasing function. I mean, it's not easy, but possible. Very possible. Guess you fell asleep. Wow. Yeah, they're holding this video. Yeah, they're not letting me release this one. Oh, well. We had trees from Florida, Texas, big and tall. Yeah, I mean, it's pictures here in Minnesota where they brag about killing a 400-year-old tree. They have the name for the tree and they brag about cutting it down. And it's like, the way they killed the buffalo. They didn't just kill. See, they tell you they killed the buffalo so the natives, the mongrels, would kill their food source. That's not necessarily why they killed them. The buffalo had a lands from the west to the east. And they wanted to keep them off them lands. That is the real reason why they killed the buffalo. Because technically, if under even over their own jurisdiction, if something occupies it for a number of years, that means they own it, right? So they knew the buffalo owned the lands they went to for tens of thousands of years. So what do they do? Well, we'll just kill them all. Keep a few of them. Or the bison, excuse me. Keep a few of them. And we don't even have real bison. The things that live today is a mixture of a cow. Because they did literally kill them all. They saved something like a bison by mixing bison and cows, and that's what we have today. We have a hybrid. They killed all the bison. We have a hybrid of a bison. We don't have a true bison anymore. Do you think there are other planes on this world? Yes and no. Yes and no, because everybody can't tap into what else is there. Because time is like this. Everything is like this. And I know that I hate to push string theory, but that's what it's kind of, that's what time, like time being like this is a little bit of string theory. I mean, there's no way to break it down. But now when you talk about occupying space, it's possible, it's very possible that this space we occupy could be occupied by several different things at one time. I mean, that's very possible. Trying to say it and not get ahead of myself and lose everybody, because the way it's coming in is so I guess this is the best example I could give you. Is kind of how everything is on top of each other. So when you meditate during the daytime, you don't see as much. It's not as much there. It's like, even if you black yourself out, when you go into the daytime, it's not as much there. Like if you go where you're from, it's not as much there. You meditate at night, it's the complete opposite. It seems like you think you're not projecting enough, but it's used more. So the space is used more. So I only bring that up because if you think it like when one society sleeps, think how easy it would be to overlap another society to use the daytime. I mean, that's very possible. I mean, even here, it's like one part of the country sleeps, the other part is still up. So if you even put that as like dimension wise, you see how you could put the dimension on it where they could say, okay, we can't fog up all this matter, all this reality so much. So as they sleep, we'll put this dimension on top of that dimension. So yes, that if that's not too confusing, that can go on. So it's like a bunch of different kind of matter, different kind of scenes could occupy this space. Just again is the heaviness of each scene, the heaviness of each civilization, because again, it's the matter is the matter doesn't matter. Again, when you're talking about loops and space time, the weight as we see as reality is a different kind of weight, is the wave, because each moment is like a wave in time. So how heavy can the wave be, and how much energy can the wave hold? That could be unlimited. So if that makes sense. So it could be a lot in the wave. As the wave comes, it could be a lot of different dimensions that can hold the waves. Now, also, it can be corruption in that, because, the powers that play, or the powers that shouldn't be, could control that and make us unaware. So if that's, that's the easiest way I try to explain it. And and I'm gonna say what quantum of science says: deja vus are gifts. Deja vus is like you doing a lot right. When you start seeing a lot of deja vus, you starting to get a lot right. It's like you're ahead of whatever it's putting out there. You're kind of really ahead of it. So deja vus is kind of cool. It's like a little gift we get. And I don't know about a replay. It's hard to say. It's like that gets into the fates too, if you understand. Deja vu can get a lot into the fates. It's a hard thing to say, are we, to even be like under the fates. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to really be under that, but it's like a lot of seems to be like preordained. So it's some things is, because I had an experience where the vision would show me what was right, and I went against it. And I didn't even go against it. It's like I was shown in it, but I didn't go with the moment. and a negative thing came. And it really wasn't negative, but it was like I was shown, and I saw the glimpse, and I ignored it. And I went another way, and then it didn't work out, if you understand. Man, it worked out still, but it was like I didn't even need that because the path was shown. But I didn't pay enough attention. Because sometimes, and it's like you'll see it, like okay, this is how simple sometimes your decisions can be. It's like you look one way or you look the other. And it's like when I looked to my left the way I really should have went, I clearly saw it. Now, when I say I clearly saw it, when I went the other way and I saw I shouldn't have went that way, it was like, I was like, when I looked that other way, it clearly came in. I was like, and I ignored it. And that's how some gifts come sometime. It's like, look at this, and if I'm looking at it, okay, go that way. If that makes any sense. So it's so I would just say most of the time, don't worry about it. Whatever your gifts are, find out what your gifts are. That's the biggest thing anybody can do is find out what your gifts are and then, practice what your gifts are. Because that's alchemy, is practice. And that's the best I could give anybody, Meditate. Meditate, no matter how you do it. You don't need stones. You don't just meditate, just quiet time. Spend some time turning off the world and just know you. It's like the way I feel about, and the way I feel about like what they just did to my nephew, like one of my cousins just got murdered. 19 years old, got murdered in Michigan. I don't know why. They say a 16-year-old is bragging on killing him. Don't know the circumstances. And everything was right with his body, but his brain, where he got shot. So, when he had got his license, they had talked him into giving all his organs away. Now, the only problem with that is those are worlds that agreed to work for you. They literally agreed to work for you. And now you're saying that those worlds can just be cut up and chopped up and stored and waiting for somebody. When that wasn't the agreement. The agreement was when you end, they end. Now, however you believe, but I'm not letting them cut me up. I'm not giving them none of this shit. This shit is all going with me. Like a split second, like a split second before a car accident. What we're saying says, go your first mind comes from. That's what we're saying, go with your first mind, indeed. Then who created time? Well, that goes into the time walkers. But let's break down time. What we're taught in this system, we're taught the Gregorian time first. And then we're taught the Julius Caesar time. So, or maybe it's Julius Caesar and then we had it changed. So what time are we talking about? Well, it's right. Do I got it right here? I think so. Yeah, I think some of my tablets, let me see. Let me find this. Some of these tablets talk about how each culture starts with time. Let me see if I can find this. Because again, the Mayan time goes back 3,100 years. Oh, this would be cool if I could find this because it talked about each civilization and the oldest civilization, again, they try to put the Jewish faith people as having the oldest continuous time. Let me see if I can find this. It's got to be right in here. I was just reading this last night. But it talks about the times because, the Mayan calendar only goes back 3,100 years. So it's not. Where is this? I don't know. I have to put it next time I'll read it again. But it actually had start times. So and you know, we also know that the omen goes back, you know, 5,000-6,000 years. Huh. Was somewhere in here. Anyway, so that's a question that it's not really a real answer for it, because what time are we under? That's the thing. Now, being a time walker, a lot of this reality is based on light. And so we still move with time and not light. Because what do they tell you? The speed of light. They tell you that this magic we use with the internet, you know, again, light. And so there's a different time that the time walkers use compared to what this system uses of time. So there's two different ways it's used. Again, a time lord is a person that can go in and out of timelines. If you dig that, that would be that's what a true time lord is. It's not necessarily, you know, a person that can go back and change things, because that's not necessarily why you go back. Sometimes you just have to go back and watch. So that's the time thing is really an odd thing to say, because, well, not an odd thing to say, but it's no one can really answer that. Like, again, if we look at a neutrino that done shot through the earth, how do they really know the time of that thing? Because they don't know when it was birthed through the what black hole. They just know that something can go through the earth and it leaves a blue streak. So it's kind of a hard question to ask. Which time? And now time is so artificial. Oh, right here. Well, it might be it. This might be it. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, right here, they give a Gregorian epoch of the Julian day number is November 24th of 4713. And that is equivalent to 4713 BCE. The Hebrews go through September 7th of 3760, October 37 BCE. The Mayan go August 11th, 3113, September 6th, 3113. The Hindus go January 13th, 3101, February 18th, 3102 is the Julian. Gregorian to Julian. Chinese go 2600 years ago. Roman, which this is because the Julian day number goes, okay, they're telling you the Julian day number goes back to November 24th, 4713. Ethiopians go back to 7 CE. Persians go back to March 22nd, 622. Islam, again, July 19th, 622. French Revolution, 1792. Baha'i, 1844. So, which one of these times, you dig? Yeah, like which one of these times, really? So it's irrelevant in a lot of ways. So, you know, be control of your own time. The way things you think it's still Boston versus the Lakers. I mean, it could be Boston versus Lakers in the Heat, but I still think the Lakers is going through. I still think it's Lakers. Yeah, I still think Lakers. Yeah, Lakers, Boston, Lakers, Boston. I still think so. Definitely like a time machine. You actually see the vision of your car accident happening, but in the time it takes for you to realize it's going to happen, you can deflect it. I tell you, Nico. I'll tell you. I've had visions. So I was mad at the motherfucker a few years ago. My ex spent the night with me on New Year's, and she didn't give me none. You know, she ended up calling her man and shit, tripping. But we was together all night, so I was taking her home the next day. And I had a vision of me and her in a car accident where the car actually had got like split damn near in two. And I had the vision. And I remember when I went, I really had to pee. And it was during a snowstorm. So I was trying to go about 10 miles during the snowstorm. And there was a car. So like I saw the vision of me and her in an accident. And I pulled off, went to McDonald's, used the bathroom, came back on, and there was a Cadillac that was driving erratic. And that Cadillac and some other people was in the accident I had saw. So I had saw the accident maybe 7 to 10 minutes before it happened. Now there was a Cadillac that was must have been late, was driving erratic. It caused the accident. But I had pulled off, went to the bathroom, came back on. And no, this was before. This was before I pulled off and used the bathroom. Because this is, so we go on the highway and it's a snowstorm. The Cadillac's driving crazy. I had a vision of me and her being in an accident. Moments later, this Cadillac that was driving erratic was in an accident. Me and her passed it. Me and her got off because I had to pee, go to McDonald's. We come back and the snowstorm's gone. It's like, it's winter, but it's like not snowing hard. And it's just that quick. But I saw the accident moments before it actually happened. But I saw me in it. And when it happened, it was other people. So, yeah. So, yeah, that happened to me a couple years ago. I think that was back in like 19. New Year's Eve, 1819. Oh. I took a picture, and it's like the picture I was thinking, the look you get when you know you're not going to get no coochie that night. Not even a hand job or nothing. But that's all right. Because her walls has been beat up. So there's no sugar walls in her walls anymore. She's one that's been around the block a lot of times. So, but bless her heart. I mean, you know, no shade. I got to see her in a couple of days anyway. Love to her. Well, I'm at 3 hours. So yeah, it's time to go to bed. So y'all, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Like us experiencing reality before and realizing it alters it. Yeah, well, what we have is we have a reality generator. We are affected by some type of reality generator that not necessarily changes the past noticeably for everyone, but can change it or give an experience to few. It's a few can, this reality can generate things and make anything pop up. Again, the aliens ain't aliens anymore. They've been here for so long, they ain't aliens no more. Now, that ain't talking about the Watchers and, you know, all those kind of entities. We're just talking about basically entity, you know, basic reality. So, yes, that what it appears like. But a simulation that can constantly shift and change and then patch behind it. You know, because you go like, well, wait a minute. Because I've said some little things like the Lakers won 32 games in a row, which is a Mason number, I know. Now they say it's 33 games in a row. Kareem's number. But when I lived it, they only won 32 games in a row. And the game that stopped the 32nd game was when they played Milwaukee and Oscar Robertson and Kareem. That's who broke their 32 game win streak, was they played Milwaukee. And they was at 32 games in a row. They played Kareem And they played Oscar Robertson, and I'm trying to remember, was Oscar Robertson with him in 72? Yes, he was. And that's who, yeah, because they won it in 70. Oscar played till 76 with Milwaukee. So they beat them. And that stopped their 33. So they didn't win their 33 game. They lost it to the Bucks. I watched the game. But now they say they won the 33, and the Bucks stopped them from winning 34. That's not what I watched years ago. So yeah, because again, like I mentioned, I'm seeing names. Y'all ain't real to me. And what you see here, nothing else exists but what you see here. This is all exists to me, is what you see here. No more, no less. So that's, how real is that? And I've said before, I've been able to it's not hard. Okay, like when we get into what really altering reality is it's not a whole reality changing thing at all. Like when I would hold this crystal up, this is a prime example. I would hold this crystal up to the moon or one of the planets. At the same time I hold this crystal up, I could kind of alter my reality. And I say alter my reality, what I mean is, okay, something simple as seeing nature in its true form. I could do that. I could hold this crystal up, and I could, while this crystal's held up and activated, I could break away and kind of see the trees in their real form. And when I say their real form, their energy form, almost like their personalities. Again, this is not very hard. I can't say, well, at other times I could hold it a long time. Other times, and I guess I got so in tune to it where I started seeing it, I didn't really have to be locked in. I can say that. I got better with it. But for the most part, again, holding this up to a planet, and also, how real you want to say this is I did the same thing and held this up and was able to move the planet. Like literally being able to move the planet, like holding this up to the planet and physically being able to watch the planet move up and down with just my thoughts. So I've experienced that too, where that shouldn't be possible. And it ain't no optical illusion. It was like I held this up and I know how when I can lock in, because you can hold something like this up when you to a planet or even the moon, but a planet is greater power. And you can lock into another reality. I mean, the under reality, I guess say, or the reality where the trees, you can see their true forms. So, but holding something like this is really powerful. This is a trident. This is unrelenting energy. So, and not holding it as a weapon, just holding it as something useful. Oh yeah, the mind is very powerful. So this is, it's like the Matrix says is, you die in the Matrix, you die. Okay, you understand that. So that's, if it is a simulation, it's that kind of simulation. But the thing not to fear is when the simulation ends. What they call death. Death is the beginning. It's not the end. That's the biggest thing that anybody that calls himself any kind of thing should know.
You're a philosopher? Yes.
That's what a philosopher should tell you. That even though Cypher is the best example, I know it's not real, I know it's not a stake, but yet I'm going to enjoy it. And that's the best I can tell you. And that's I don't even know if I should release this, but that's where, I guess that's where, like, when the Book of the Dead tries to tell you about, really letting go of all attachments, you kind of got to almost look at it. It's like I've said before, I've had the worst kind of experiences spiritually in some instances, that it's like torture almost. It's like the worst, it's like the worst. Because you gotta, you absorb it all. When it starts coming, you absorb it all. And it's like, okay, how can you handle this? Now, I guess that's a little bit into the faith, but it's like, I ain't never even lived some of this shit, and it's coming. If you understand that. It's like, I've lived it in a way, but it's like not this, but it's something else. I lived it, and it's like beat the shit out of me. And something my fiance always says is, you still go back in, and definitely, it never ran me away. And some of this stuff is like horrible. And like not just scary, but it's just like it brings some of the suffering. And like I tell my daughter, because my daughter has a few of the gifts, and I tell her, it's like, just because you know magic, you can't stop life. And like I tell that to anybody, just because when the deja vus are coming, know you're doing it right. And when they ain't coming, be not worried, but just like, what, I'm not hitting something. Not hitting something. And kill fear. Don't let fear stop you. Past lives. Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to think of an example to give right now, and I'm coming to a blank. Oh, yeah. The best example, like I've told this before. I hit a stream. Man, I don't even know how the stream of, or the stream of thought or the consciousness came in, but it came in. And I was first, like, again, I don't even know if this is past life, but I've said this before. It's like when it came in, at first I was like a young girl that lived in during World War II. Like I worked in like a place that sold an ice cream, and I was seriously a young girl that lived in World War II. I mean, I remember the hairstyle and everything. And then I was like a alchemist, medieval times alchemist. So, but still a female. It's like I went from the candy stripe girl to the female alchemist of an earlier time, and to another female in another earlier time. Now, I can't say that that's past lives. I can't really say that. But I experienced life as those three beings in those times, whichever times they was. The most vivid was definitely the younger girl from the World War II. I felt her a little more than the other two. So I don't know. Oh, how can you figure out or project your past lives? Hey, Don Player, thank you for joining me. I don't know. I just mentioned that. I don't know if that experience was really a past life. It's hard to say. Could I put that? That's the closest thing I could say I've ever experienced about past lives was that situation there. To say how you tap into that, I don't know. I don't really know. The time I tapped into it, I don't know what I did. Like the other night, I done something where this little ring, I had did something that really activated, and I'm laying in bed, and all night I'm just getting little, from the rings. It's just energy is hitting my arm because it's, this garnets, natural garnets are very regenerative. And so I'm just getting these little electric currents coming in my arm. And for a moment, I thought I was wearing my TENS unit. But then I was like, nah, it's just a ring. So I did something to make the ring activate and send me some energy. So I don't know. That's a hard one. Because that vision like came in, I didn't do anything to prepare for it. So, I don't know. I don't know how you could do it. Because I haven't, I only was able to tap into it that once. That was the only time I was able to tap into something like that. So I can't give any advice how I did it because I don't know. I don't know. That vision came out of nowhere, and it was just so vivid, and just the different levels of it look like that's the closest I could ever say about past lives. Now, I don't necessarily know if this is time travel compared to me generating a reality, which is very possible. But like going back during Omen times, playing the sacred ball game, Mayan times, experiencing some of that. But again, I am so strong, I could just have generated that and put myself into what I generated. It's hard to say sometimes if really going back in the past compared to me generating something and going into what I generated. So that could be both. That could be both. You know, I think sometime, some experiences be like, okay, did I really go into this or did I generate it? So sometimes I have to, really look at like, did I generate this and then go into the worlds? Because I'm great at that. I'm great at creating worlds. So I have to watch for that too, So if you feel that, this is the best thing I could say. If you feel that, if you ever have dreams or visions about past things, document them. And then break them down as time gives you more and more about what that was. That's the best thing I can give you, because past life is a little harder than visions. So that's a little harder than visions. Well, no, let me take it back. That can be visions, but write it down exactly what you saw and how long it played out. Because again, just like Nevada, you can go in the closet and have a lifetime experience, and 10 minutes then went by when you get out. So it could be, that's kind of what it would give you. I guess that's like, if the past life thing comes, it could give you that. It could give you what seems like a lifetime, and you wake up or you snap out of it and it's not very long. But it could be a snippet to what you could have experienced. So, and the best way is, that's not even a good way. I don't know. Kind of a, not hard, but an interesting thing. And it's not that you can't do it, but it's just taking note of it is the if it happens, and knowing it happens, because this is what happens too, is visions come to people and you miss them. Like these spiritual things come to you and you miss them, because like I missed one for the first time in a long time. I only got the blue and gray, but I saw it, but it's like I didn't tune in, and it went by me. And it's like I'm just left with like, damn, it was blue and it was a little gray compared to when it came. If I would have plugged into it, I didn't. It's like it came and I was like, okay. And that's easy. Like when you meditating is one of the easiest ways to miss stuff, because especially with a crystal, because you can close your eyes, and if you haven't worked with the crystal a long time, it'll say hello. Like soon as it boom, a crystal will come in and say hello. And if you're not ready for it, you'll miss it, because it's like, oh, the crystal didn't do nothing. But if you closed your eyes and you got a little flash, it was a crystal saying hello. And yes, I wear a lot of crystals. So yeah, which one? That's always the answer to which one. But just giving you, if you just wear one, if you just hold one. So I better call it, because it's been a long time. Yeah, I've went for way too long. So thank y'all. We give out the energy. We give out the Kundalini, positive energy to all y'all, healing energy. Whatever, you're looking for, concentrate on it. You can find it. That's what it is. Concentrate on it. Ask your guides if you work with that. I'm becoming a lot more familiar, which is, it's kind of cool. There's help when there's, because there's sometimes when you need help. Like I said, a lot of my guides were the nature, especially the wind, the snow. And, and I'm on the highway and it's all that ice out there. And I'm like, hey, I pay attention to you guys. I need you. I'm out here doing this and I need you and I pay attention. So I need all this to work. And that's how it can go for you. Have no fear. Put fear aside and know that it can work, whatever you do. So pushing the Kundalini out, positive vibes, positive energy, positive love. Till we meet again. Say less. I like that part. And I like that part. And I like that part. And I like that part too. Did y'all like that part at the 3 hour part, 3 minute mark? You like all those parts, don't you? You like that part.
You're a philosopher?
Take it away.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you
Gonna be satisfied. Y'all not gonna be satisfied until we get sleazy off up in. Gonna be satisfied. Y'all not.
What the hell you want here, hunky? What the hell you want here, hunky?
That's what me and this nigga do. We pick something and then we rant about it.
I think we OD. I think we OD. I think we OD.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
It all breaks down to, what does this mean to me? What does this event mean to me? How? It all breaks down to, what does this mean to me? What does this event mean to me? How does this event affect my thinking? Affect my way of life?
Baby, I'm a walking dead man is what they call me when I. Baby, I'm a walking dead man is what they call me when I. Baby, I'm a walking dead man is what they call me when I. Baby, I'm a walking dead man is what they call me when I. I hit the loot juice, it pulls up in the. I hit the loot juice, it pulls up in the.
I stopped playing games and I mastered the art.
Nigga.
I'm legendary in this motherfucker.
Who that? Huh? Nigga.
I'm legendary in this motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was horn. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet. Bar, back to bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks. Something. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money.
Oh. Oh, no.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens. 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 Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens.
All right, y'all. I'm done fucking around. Thanks, y'all, for coming. I appreciate it. One love. Take us out. Take us out. Curtis, take us out. Curtis Mayfield. Take us out, Curtis Mayfield. Take us out, Curtis Mayfield. Take us out, Curtis Mayfield. Take it. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me.